The Hidden Truth is the title of this video podcast. I'm going to chat a little bit about the Nicola Bulley case. I know it's been talked about, scrutinised, investigated for the past month, and I saw some things that started me to think that this was a bit of a ruse, a bit staged. Roughly, it was a few days actually into the case. I had a little bit of a theory about this case, and this picture started me all off. This is where it all began for me. I think this is the first picture that that the mainstream media actually produced. It's the one that I saw anyway. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go back through a bit of a timeline and try and show you things where I feel that this could all be a bit of a psyop. I don't like the word psyop. It sounds very military, but I do think there's been a reason for this story. I think it's been manufactured, and you can actually apply to be a crisis actor. It's online. I will show you that now. If you just bear with me 1 second. Okay, so I've just gone into Google and I've typed in crisis actors. Okay, and you can go and look this up for yourself. And this is crisiscast.com. You can go and have a look at this. You can have a look at how it works and what it's all about. We simulate crisis incidents across multiple platforms for emerging security needs in the UK. I will point out through the video little bits of evidence that I've seen that triggers my thoughts on this, and obviously, it's a controversial subject. It's not for everybody. But as it started to get further down the line and further to the point we are now, there's more questions than there is answers. And okay, I could talk for a while, and I don't want to bore you really. I want to try and play you other people's take on this, and I've tried to edit it together so it's not just my sort of opinion as well. Because at the end of the day, right, this poor young girl, in the eyes of the public, has gone missing, and the police kept saying there's no foul play, doesn't look like there's any third party involvement. And that's what they were saying at the very, very beginning, before all the river scenario. The river came after. And you'll see that just like episodes on TV of drama series that we all watch, not all of us, but we're all into a bit of mystery, crime, and we watch them. And it's like an episode. Each day was a different episode. Just like Ron said, something new comes out every day. And it's a good way to keep spinning the story. And I think they've done it because I think they want to bring a new law in to try and shut all this down. And what a perfect way to do it. Whether it's been set up or not, they have got something now that they can use to bring a law in, because now they've turned it around on everybody who's got involved and helped, and said that it's our fault that the investigation got flawed in kind of a roundabout way. They didn't say that, but they started to say that all the media, all the speculation, not the media, but the YouTube channels and the likes started to muddy the water a bit, but they needed our help at the beginning. So, okay, let's have a look at the parents, right? So we got the mum and dad and sister. Now, if your daughter went missing, or son, or grandchildren, or any member of the family, and you weren't too happy with the outcome that the police gave you, without any evidence, that they come up with a scenario, would you be happy with that? Or would you... I know I would. I'd be going to all the media, all the newspapers, and saying, look, I need answers. This is not good enough for me. Unless they've been told something that we don't know. But for us, we have been told that she's fell in the water. We've had someone, Petey Fowling, going down that river with his top-end equipment, and he searched the body of river. Well, it's a stream. When you look at bigger rivers in America and that, it's just a stream, really. So it's a little stream, and he searched it and proved that there wasn't a body in the water. And there's been polls done, and people have said she didn't go in the water. So you would ask for help, wouldn't you? I know I would. I wouldn't be happy with the police, so I'd go and get a private detective if I could afford it, or I would put a GoFundMe page up to go and get the money to go and get myself a private detective, because I think the public will support that. But no, the family are happy with the outcome of a falling in the water, and that's a big red flag for me. So, and then you've got Paul, right? Now, if my partner went missing, I would also, if I'm not happy with the police, which it looked like to me, he wasn't happy with the police's report, because he kept saying, she's not in the river. She's not in the river. I don't think she's in the river. Now, I'm not going to play all the interview with Paul. It's all over the internet. And if you're into the case, you would have seen it and you would know what I'm on about. So you've got this beautiful lady here, youngest in her prime. She's fit. She wears a Fitbit. And then all this came out about her being an alcoholic and all this, that, and the other. Now, to me, there's a picture here, there. She looks a fit lady. She doesn't look like somebody who's... I can't say, because I do know people who have a problem. Alcohol's a terrible thing for it to get hold of you with. But she's got a Fitbit on. That's something else. A Fitbit, all the information off the Fitbit for a few days before she went missing wasn't synced to any device. You've got all these little dots and you start connecting them, and I come to this conclusion that I hope that Nicola's still alive, and well, for the outcome anyway. And I think Paul and Nicola will just go off on their lives in a few years' time with the children, when it's all forgotten about, and pick up where they left off, and they will be looked after for going along with this story. I could be all wrong. It might all be just my opinion, and if that's the case, then at least I've thought a little bit outside the box, and it's a bit more of a critical thinking on everything else. So I'm going to stop it there. I'm just going to start using some of the Armchair Detective, the real Armchair Detective, because he's got over 100,000 subscribers. He's very good. I'm not going to make him look like he's telling a different side to his story. It'll be the way that he tells it, but I'll just chop it up a bit. So stay with me. I hope you enjoy my content. It's the first time I've done this, so bear with me. Please, if you do, subscribe to me, give me a like, and hopefully I'll do some more. So yeah, a little bit about me. I am into my conspiracy theories. I have been for a while. 9/11 was a big red flag for me. COVID was another one. We all know that at the top people lie, being it the powers that be. I think we've all seen a bit of that, whether you believe in conspiracies or not. I think a majority of people know that now. So anyway, that's me waffling. Let's get on with the show.
Right, we can start now you're all here. Good evening, everyone. My name's Alan. I am the Armchair Detective. I'm here to bring you the facts on what I find. Everything I show you tonight is facts. If it's not a fact, I tell you it's my belief. I believe, this is my belief, it looks like a staged crime scene.
Armchair Detective there saying it looks like a staged crime scene. Now, he's been doing this for a number of years. He's 100,000 subscribers on his channel. I'm quite happy to say that he's quite confident with these findings. So
things that are there made us believe it's real. To make us believe it, the police have to tell us without telling us that Nicola was at the bench. So the way they do it is they say, well, from our information, the phone made its way to the bench. And in our minds, we see Nicola walking to the bench, right? But the police can't say it. They could be in on the trick, but they can't literally say Nicola was at the bench. That's done in more subtle ways. Sure, if it all goes wrong at an inquiry, they've got to wiggle their way out of this, where they can say, well, we didn't say Nicola was at the bench. No, we said the phone was at the bench, not Nicola.
At 9:20, through inquiries we've made, we believe that her phone was on the bench.
We then know from digital data that at some time around 9:20, we believe that Nicola's handset had moved towards the bench area.
So you just saw the police say that she was seen at 9:15 on the first day. She was seen at 9:15. So what do we conclude from that, guys? If she was seen at 9:15, then they have a witness on the spot when they got there, right?
That's correct. Yeah, about an hour later, we found the dog and the mobile phone on the bench. The dog and the mobile phone on the bench.
Now that bit I don't understand. About an hour later, we found a dog on the harness. Now, I've been trying to think about this. So we know Paul rang the police at roughly about 10 to 11. He says that himself, so we have to take Paul's word for that, don't we?
So I'd rung the police at I think about 10 to 11.
Just over an hour after Nicola's last confirmed sighting, 9:15, a member of the public raised the alarm with the police.
That's correct. Yeah, about an hour later, we found the dog and the mobile phone on the bench.
When they found Nicola's dog, Willow, running loose by the river.
That's correct. Yeah, about an hour later, we found the dog and the mobile phone on the bench.
Paul rang the police at roughly about 10 to 11. He says that himself, so we have to take Paul's word for that, don't we? Why would he come on TV and say that? You know, why set you up for a massive investigation if that isn't correct? You know, the police have told you the timeline that they have down, but now they're saying that on this part they're saying differently, aren't they? Because the press conference, they did give you the timeline of events. Okay, so let's have a look at this timeline and see what anomalies and see things that we can pick up on this. Okay, so we start from the school.
We're going to start from the car park, which is where she came with the dog and the kids, dropped them off at school. And then we're going to walk along the road, just to give you an overview, walk along the road, walk down by the river, and then from there we are going to walk around the fields and try to get an idea of what might have happened. So that happened at exactly 8:40.
Yep.
So she dropped the children off at 8:40.
8:40
From
right
here,
now.
what happened?
So Nicola came, parked up her car here. She dropped off her kids at school.
Now remember that Nicola also spoke to a friend, Emma, at the school. So how long does it roughly take to drop the children off, get them out the car, see them on the way, and then you bump into your friend and you speak to your friend? How long do you think the conversation would have lasted with a friend, with Emma? Would it have been, "Hi Emma, I'm just dropping the kids off, I'm in a rush, see you later," which would be a minute, or would it be a couple of minutes? But anyway, it's negligence that anyway, so let's move on. So we say 8:40, she was dropped off the children, she dropped the children off, she spoke to Emma, and off she goes on her merry way.
So in terms of the actual timeline, Nicola Bulley dropped her children off at school at about 8:40 on Friday the 27th of January. That was normal, and she then proceeded, after chatting to a couple of people in the school yard, walked up Garstang Road and onto the river path.
Okay, so this road here now is Blackpool Lane. The drivers weren't asked for this lane, they were asked for Garstang Road, which is further up over the bridge and around the corner, and it's not even where Nicola walked. Now, given that the police might want to see any suspicious cars or anything on this road, why haven't they asked for both this road, Blackpool Lane, why haven't they asked for this road, and also dashcam footage from Garstang Road? Wouldn't they want to see both roads? Wouldn't they want to see all the area to build up a picture of where she walked? This road would want, I'm sure the police would want footage from both roads, what I'm saying. Now, this bit I find interesting because they're walking, and here are some houses. They look nice houses. They look like they would have door cameras on there, door ring bells. So I don't know. I can't comment on that. So basically what I'm saying is they would have wanted footage from both roads. This road, Blackpool Lane, and also Garstang Road. So let's just go back and see if the timeline changes, because I'm sure, let me see how many minutes let me pick up how many minutes on this play timeline on
from
YouTube
the car park, which is
So let's give them
8:40
from
right
here.
now.
What happened?
So Nicola came, parked up her car here. She dropped off her kids at school. She would have.
Okay, so now they're walking. Now it's 8:40 on Sky's timeline. So on my timeline, it's 32 seconds. Let's see how long it takes them to walk on YouTube's timeline and see if it corresponds with Sky News' timeline.
Taken her dog Willow out of the car park, as she normally did, and walked her along this path next to the car park of the tennis club and the school, and
I'm
along
very happy for
the
you
school
to spin round if
as
you
well.
want to have a look rather than, yeah, there we go. So,
And this is a very normal route for Nicola. Almost every single morning, this is exactly what she would have done. Her kids coming to the school to our left as well. And this is a busy road. In Skip down there is where the family home is. So she would have come down this road and then onto the road up there, a very busy main road.
this is Blackpool Road.
Yeah, Blackpool Lane it is, yeah. And the police have stressed about Blackpool Lane because there are hundreds of cars.
700 vehicles.
Yeah, that would have passed through that morning. And so they are clear they want to try and speak to every single one of those drivers to get as much dash cam footage as they...
Right, so we're already up to a minute here, aren't we? But on Sky News, they're just keeping it at 8:40. So they've walked a minute and it's not represented on the Sky News, okay? This might be all or nothing. I just want to have a look at this and show you guys the timeline. Let's look at it together.
They possibly can to try and piece together what exactly has gone on. So she would have crossed this road and would have walked down this path, which heads up to not only the bridge which she crossed, but in fact the church which she would have passed. And she would have come up here.
So they've cut a little bit of the walk out, the houses. Not, let's say there's what, a few seconds there. Let's give it 30 seconds walk past them houses and the church. So I think I'm being reasonable, say 30 seconds walk past that little bit of a walk there. So
to this iron bridge, which again has been another real focal point of the last 3 weeks. Look at all these beautiful ribbons.
So I would say now we're up to 2 minutes, allowing for that 30-second walk past the houses. And we're still at 8:40. Okay, so Sky News hasn't altered the time of the walk. And also, look at the cars that are coming past here. It's a very busy road. It's a very slow road here because you've got the school down there. You've got a bridge. It's 30-mile-an-hour speed zone. And you can tell that, people are slowing down here. Now, look how busy it is.
Ribbons, daffodils that have been tied up with messages.
And look how close you are to the cars. You have been all the way down this walk, haven't you? So dash cam footage would have picked up, they would have been close to Nicola on the side of the road. The pavement's close to the road, basically. So we're up to 2 minutes and it's still 8:40.
Nicola's partner came down here, leaving a message on one of them as well.
Cars are going past quite slow, and I've seen vans and wagons going past, which probably would have dash cam, and I'm sure there would be speed cameras down this road, and also CCTV cameras, which would have picked up which cars are going past, so they could have quite easily picked up the cars that they needed to speak to.
And as we just go a bit forward, we get to the other side of the bridge and essentially the start of the path which is next to the river. This is the path.
Okay, so now they've decided to bring the timeline, up to okay, we'll give them that then. So now they've changed the timeline. That seems about right, doesn't it? I said about 3 minutes. It's okay.
path that runs along the river wire, and it was 8:43.
Yeah.
This time.
This is when
right
she
now,
first
3
hit this.
weeks ago,
So,
where
you
she
know,
arrived.
quite a pace she was walking at.
And yeah, that's another thing. Kate says, the presenter, it's quite a walk they were walking at. Now, looking at the CCTV footage of Nicola getting into the car, she does look a stridey walker. She looks quite forceful at her walking, big strides. So, you know, she could be a fast walker. She's only a little girl, remember. She's only 5 foot, 5'4"? So, you know, she hasn't got a long stride as in leg-wise. So she must be a fast walker.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. We've walked, and she's got a dog with her. Probably the dog, running a bit ahead of her. You're a dog walker yourself.
It's the first time we've seen the river wire there.
But would the dog not be on a lead at this particular point? I don't know. I don't know if dogs are off the lead or on the lead at this point. I would say that you would have your dog on the lead, especially with the road being so close. You might have took the dog off the lead and harness here. I don't know.
Over 2 weeks before that.
Now, they have jumped here. It was 8:43 on that bridge. And now they've come to this field. They've not showed us that walk, have they? You know, from the bridge to this point. It doesn't mean anything anyway. I'm not trying to say this is suspicious, but I'm just trying to build up a picture of the timeline of what we've been told. And again, what I find strange is you can see a good 5 minutes line of sight. You know, the Sky reporters would look down this way to the left or right, and they can see a good line of sight of 5 minutes, maybe more. So you could even say 10 minutes.
Morning, she had a visit from police because of concerns for welfare.
Yeah,
It's
we
a big
know that a
question.
medical team went to the home on the 17th
Yep.
of January, and
Yep.
they haven't told us anything more than that.
No.
But we do know that the police have referred themselves to the complaints committee.
Yeah.
Now, just watch the camera. You know, the guys holding the camera, the camera team. They're having to kind of really run here to keep up with Kate and the other presenter. I can't think of his name.
As a direct result of that moment.
And if we just pause here, because before we get to the upper field, it was around this time, roughly, about 8:50, that Nicola was then spotted by another dog walker.
Okay, so they're saying on his phone, because he would have looked at his phone from point A, which is school, to point B, this is 8:50 now on his phone. So that's how long it's took them to walk. Now remember, there'd be no stopping. They haven't stopped. They've just walked briskly to get to this point. Now Nicola has got a dog. Maybe the dog would go off and sniff around, around the trees and sniff around here. And remember, she's on a conference call, isn't she? So just put this in your mind that she's on a conference call, looking at her phone. She's got a dog to contend with as well. But the dog, it's something she usually does, so it's not unusual. So, she would have to be looking where she's going as well and looking for the dog. So they've walked here from A to B because that's what they're doing. They've got no distractions. So putting all that aside, that could be all or nothing. I'm just pointing it out there.
Yeah.
Someone who knew her.
So at this point here now on this field.
Another dog walker.
Yeah.
Someone who knew her.
So another dog walker on this field spoke to Nicola here, around here, supposed to be, and their dog had a. Let's just see how he says it.
Another dog walker.
Yeah.
Someone who knew her, walking around the lower field with their dog as well. The two dogs actually interacted before the other dog walker went off and took the river path which we've just come down.
So the other witness, the first witness that saw Nicola, their dogs interacted, had a little bit of a fight, or, just a little bit of a, like dogs do, have a sniff around each other. Seems funny how they mention that, doesn't it? They're interacted. So you know, it's a significant thing that the witness, you know, the witness saw Nicola, must have stopped, probably spoke, dogs interacted. We don't know. This is all we've been told.
And Nicola then carried on with her dog Willow.
So
Very shortly, she would have just been finishing her email off, which goes to her boss.
So she's also walking, she's on a conference call, and she's doing emails. And again, you know, the line of sight here, look at this, it's really open. There's not a lot in each other's way. So whoever saw Nicola here at this point on this field, you know, if you're walking a bit further down there, I don't know if you can see my mouse, but if you're down this way, then you would see Nicola coming towards you, and Nicola would see the other person coming towards her, because it looks like that's the path that you take. So the witness that saw Nicola is very significant, because they would have seen each other coming towards each other, etc. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. And so she's looking at the dog. She's making sure the dog's all right.
Yeah.
You know, from my own experience, you keep an eye on them, but you're doing other things as well. The sheep across the way there, just obviously keeping an eye on what's going on.
Okay, so Kate can see sheep across the way. Now, we can't see the sheep in shot, but I will show you them soon. So, you know, if she can see sheep that's over here and past my screen here, that's a good line of sight, isn't it?
And then she sends the email.
Yep. At 8:53, police say right now, 3 weeks ago, Nicola hit send.
Yeah.
And an email was sent to her boss.
Yeah. So if you...
Okay, so now they stop and it's zoom in time, isn't it? And maybe Kate just needs a little bit of a rest.
Just tuning our way, we are retracing the steps of Nicola Bulley. 3 weeks ago today, it's 9 o'clock, and she would have been on a Teams call about now.
Yeah, it was about a minute's time or so. She logged into that Teams call. I imagine the meeting started.
Sorry, so she wasn't logged into the Teams call. So she sent her email to her boss, and then in a minute's time at 8:54, she sends an email to her boss.
Started at 9 o'clock. Nicola logged in about 1 minute past 9.
Yeah.
She would have held the
Still
phone
on this
out in
path?
front. Yeah. Yeah, she was just walking along this upper field here.
Yeah.
She would have held the phone out in front of her, police said, and that's...
So that's a speculation, they don't know. So she's on the conference call. The reason why I think she would hold the phone out in front of is if she's reading stuff, otherwise it might be in her pocket with headphones on, knowing that the dog's running about as well. I've seen her with headphones on in pictures, but yeah, we don't know. So let's say the phone is in front of her, and
That's what you do, isn't it? When
You've got it on speaker.
Yep.
You hold it out in front of you.
Yep.
But she didn't have it on speaker. It was on mute, wasn't it? Because they've all said that she was on mute.
And she wasn't talking. She wasn't on video. It was
Her
just
pace
simply...
would have been slower here because she was listening to what was being said.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we don't know that, Kate, do we? We don't know if she'd be slower. We can't say that. Maybe, Kate just needs to slow down a little bit. She's saying, I need to slow down. I don't know.
And again, as I mentioned, her dad said in relation to work, she was in good spirits. She just, as a mortgage advisor, had just got a deal through, so she was happy about that. And, she sent an email to her boss.
And she starts to join a Teams conversation.
Yeah.
The camera's not on, the audio is not on,
Yeah.
but she is holding it out
And
in front
listening.
of us. And we know that because somebody saw her right now.
Right, so again, we've gone past now, so they've not showed you the 10 minutes, which probably is irrelevant, but they haven't really moved much, so they're just chatting. But look at this, right? Again, the line of sight. You can see people, if Kate could turn around and look around, she could see where she's just walked. And in a minute, I'll show you the sheep that she could see she could see the sheep way back here. So you can see who's in this field, without a doubt. the line of sight is really good. It's clear. There's no hedges. So let's just have a listen.
Yeah, it was at 9:10 here on the upper field that somebody then saw Nicola, a witness that has been spoken to by police.
So we don't know who this witness is. I think it's the eldest guy. The eldest guy, who we don't know who it is, which is really odd because his wife phoned up the Times newspaper on his behalf and told the Times what had gone on. I don't know why you would do that, because I would think that you would want to do that. So I don't know who this witness is, but we've got to give it to him because it's documented.
3 weeks ago, let's put this in perspective. 3 weeks ago, 9:10 in the morning,
Here.
somebody saw Nicola walking with her dog Willow here.
You know, just to illustrate, you know, that this is where the dog walkers come.
Yeah.
Okay, now we've got Ron coming into shot. You know, there's a Sky News team tent set up there, which would have mic'd up Ron. He would have had a mic on, and he would have done a sound test because all the equipment's down there. And here he comes into shot. So let's just watch. By the way, this is the red building that he mentions here.
All the time.
Yeah.
Her partner came along, Paul, and he's retraced these steps many.
Okay, so this bit is strange as well because she says a partner comes along, Paul, and retraces the steps. Now, we know that Paul went back on the Sunday with Willow. Why he went back on Sunday and not on the Saturday, and why he didn't go straight back to the scene on the Friday, I do not know. I mean, if it's your partner or my partner, or I think it would the logical thing to do is go back and look. I think you would want to, but everybody's different, so I can't speak on Paul's behalf. But I find it odd that Kate said about Paul, you know. So obviously, remember, this will be all scripted now. They aren't ad-libbing, they are being told to say this. So just bear that in mind as well.
I came along, Paul, and his
Just rewind that back for you, just so you can hear that.
partner came along, Paul, and he's retraced these steps many times, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. And he came down pretty much straight away. You know, he wanted to see what was the scene like.
So Paul came down straight away. He wanted to see what the scene was like. When did he come down? I'd like to know. The thing I'm finding with this case is no one is being very specific, if that's the correct way you say that word. But they're not being, bob on with things, are they? They're not committing to anything really. It's all hearsay in a way. Just rewind that back.
Away, he wanted to see what was the scene like, what happened here straight away. Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Come on
Fine.
through.
Do come
How
through.
are you?
No, not at all.
Good to see you.
Do you live here?
Well, it has been like that. So you actually saw the phone, is that right? Yeah.
So again, this would have been set up stage, nothing really, that's just normal procedure. Been on TV before, done this type of thing, and I know this could have even been taken a few times. They do take a lot of takes on things like this, and they use the one that they want to use. So, I can imagine Ron doing this a few times until the producer's happy with it. So just bear that in mind as well.
Yeah. You saw the phone that Friday morning?
Yes.
Yeah, and that was around, was it after 9:30?
I gave a full statement to the police.
Yeah.
So he's not committing to anything. I gave a full statement to the police. So he's not committing to any time there, is he? Okay.
I gave a full statement to the police with the exact time because my wife's telephone call had the time on it. So, but I've given a full statement to the police.
Yeah. Was it just on the bench, or?
Pardon?
Was it just on the bench?
The phone?
Yeah.
Yeah. How's the last 3 weeks been?
Each day something new comes out, doesn't it?
Yeah.
how's the last 3 weeks been? Each day something new comes out, doesn't it? Again, spinning it, keeping the story alive, keeping the mystery alive. Every day something new comes out. That's a red flag to me, because the drip feeding information, keeping it alive. Maybe all or nothing. I could be wrong, but that's how it looks to me.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But,
And in terms of, when you saw...
I'm just going to rewind this back, because I know there's a lot of people are talking about this Ron's video interview. So let me just try and rationalise everyone's thoughts on this, okay?
That right? Yeah. You saw the phone that Friday morning?
Yeah.
So you saw the phone that Friday morning. So basically, the presenter's giving Ron a question, but he's not giving it to him to be specific. So he hasn't said to him, okay, Ron, tell us about how you found the phone, or tell us about how you came across the phone. On this particular question, a little bit later, he does touch base on it, but let's just say as the question and the words come out.
Yeah, and that was around, was it after 9:30?
I gave a full statement to the police with the exact time.
Now remember, the presenter knows what time it is, but he's giving Ron the option to answer it.
Because my wife's telephone call had the time on it.
So my wife's telephone call. Let me just rewind that back.
Because my wife's telephone call.
So my wife's telephone call
had the time on it.
So that's like my wife's telephone call. So in other words, when his wife phoned him, that's when he could log the time or something like that. So whatever phone call was made with his wife, that's where they got the log of the call from. That's how I'm hearing that. I might be wrong.
So, but I've given a full statement.
Yeah.
Was it just on the bench, or?
Was it just on the bench? So again, Kate's not saying was the phone on the bench. So remember, this could have been taken a few times, and this is the one that they're happy with. And if he's been told what to say, then maybe the police have told Ron not to speak about this. Don't, if you get pulled by the press or anything, please don't speak about it. And I would imagine there would have been a conversation with Sky News to Ron saying, look, can we interview you? Ron saying, I'm not really allowed to. I've been asked by the police not to. Sky News would say, well, we'll ask you questions where it doesn't give you specific times. Is that okay? If that makes sense.
Pardon?
Was it just on the bench?
The phone?
Yeah.
Yeah. How's the last 3 weeks been?
So going off topic a little bit, making him feel a little bit comfortable there about, not drilling him about things, just general chit chat.
Each day something new comes out, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
So there's a bit of a pause here, isn't there? No one's saying anything. So they're waiting for a cue. Ron's waiting for the next cue question.
And in terms of, when you saw Phone, Lead and Willow, who you knew who Nicola was.
So Phone, Arnis, Willow, I think he said. Let me just rewind that back. Sorry if this is boring, you guys, but I just want to get this nailed.
And Willow, who you knew who Nicola saw Phone, Lead and Willow, who you...
So you saw Phone, Lead and Willow. Well, there is no lead. There really is not a lead. There should have been a lead, but apparently the police say it was phone, harness and Willow, and with no lead.
You knew who Nicola was.
So you knew who Nicola was. Now this bit now, I think a lot of people have picked up something here, and I'm just going to give my point of view on it.
No, I didn't.
Oh,
No, I didn't. Okay. Listen.
And Willow, who you knew who Nicola was.
No, I didn't.
Now Ron is confident there, saying, no, I didn't. Now I've said this many a time. You could see someone down the street past them. You can take your dog for a walk. You can see the same people in the field. You can pass them and you can nod to them. You can say, hey up and all this. And, you know, your family might know them personally, but you might not know them personally. You might know them familiar through the face, you know, familiar faced. But it doesn't mean to say you would know them personally to go and have a coffee with and sit down in the house. I think Ron is being sincere by him saying, no, I didn't. I didn't know who she is. You can say that truthfully. I think that's what's happened here.
Oh, you knew Willow. That was it, wasn't it? You knew Willow.
I knew I'd seen both the owners of Willow.
You know, he's stuttering. He's trying to make sure he doesn't slip up. So he knew he'd seen the owners of Willow. Again, familiar faces in the field walking the dog. I've seen them. And I think that's what he explains here.
Yeah.
Walking this dog in the past. But whilst I knew them by face, like I know your face.
Again, so I know them by face. The faces are familiar.
Yes.
I didn't know the name.
Yeah.
I didn't know the name. I think he's being sincere there.
Yeah. But I remember you actually telling me when you saw the phone, the lead and Willow, you were like, okay, I'm going to keep an eye on it because something doesn't feel right.
I thought somebody had gone to the toilet.
Now, a lot of people are picking up on this and think Ron's, you know, sort of got something to do with it. I do think it's a little bit different in my mind. I think he's walked past the situation and blasé in his own little world. Like, I can do it sometimes. I can walk past something and then think, hang on a minute, that's a bit odd, and then go back to it and think about it. You know, I mean, he's thinking he's walking his dog, he's in his own world, and then he walks back this situation of a phone, dog, and harness. I think that's what they should have said, harness rather than lead. I think that's where the confusion is here. You might take a little bit more of a walk and then start thinking about what you've just seen. How many of us have done that? Walked past something and thought that's a little bit odd and then gone back to it. I think all what he's saying is sincere. I think Ron is being sincere with everything he's saying because he says it quite confident. He's got no reason to lie, I don't think. Okay, people might say, well, he has got a reason to lie if he's involved in it and there's been foul play. But why put yourself in that position to go on TV if that's the case? I think that the witnesses that have seen Nicola are innocent bystanders and they've been caught up in the story. I do think that the phone, lead and harness was left there for these people to pick up and walk past to trigger the story. Really, I think that's what's happened. These are the victims of the story that's being created. Again, it's just my thought. So, you know, I'm just putting it out there, things that I'm seeing. Let me continue.
In the, you know, that was my first. I got to about this red brick building here, and I thought this is not right.
You see, I got to the red brick building. He could have looked back and seen. He could have looked back on the situation and thought there's something not right. You know, so I just think he's being sincere there.
This is the part of the river where the police think that she has gone into the water. There's no sign here at all of, you know, any scuffs or whatever.
Yeah.
But this is where her phone is found.
Yeah, well, look, it's 9:20 right now.
Yeah.
So it's 9:20 right now. So let's have a listen to see if there's any more witnesses, okay? So Ron found the phone at 9:33, and they've gone to the bench now, and they're going to give you the timeline from the bench situation.
Yeah.
9:20, 3 weeks ago, Nicola's phone had moved to this bench. But we're at a very important juncture right now, okay? It's 9:30.
So now they moved to 9:30. So Nicola's phone's moved to the bench. So if Ron was around this area here, okay, given there's trees here and, you know, you might find it difficult to see in the field. But like I've said to you, there's got to be a 10-minute line of sight. So if Ron's come through that gate at 9:30, he would have looked around, he would have looked straight down, and he would have known if someone's in that field. I've shown you the line of sight is at least 10 minutes. So he can see 10 minutes in front of him if anyone's about. Well, she hasn't come this way, has she? To the kissing gate. Because Ron would have seen her walk past. He hadn't seen her walk past. So Ron's got to the bench. He's walked past the bench, down towards the bottom of my screen, and this is where the red brick building is, and that's when he decided something was a bit of a miss. So why didn't he see Nicola in the field, knowing you can see 10 minutes or more away? So to me, that is almost like having a camera. If there was a camera on that tree there, then that camera would have seen everything in the field, and so would your eyes. So Ron could see everything from that point, all directions around there. And let's say Ron did walk past the bench and Willow was not tied up or tied up. I don't think that makes much difference really at the moment. He could have had a look and he could see down this way, couldn't he? I don't know if you can see me mouse, but going past the tree and going to the left here, following the river down here, you know, I'm sure if Nicola would have moved to the bench and left the phone, or anybody would have moved and left the phone on the bench, you would see somebody unless they've gone to hide. Okay, I'm just putting this out there.
I did a 30-minute team call. That ended. Yeah. She'd logged on about 9:01. It had obviously started at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
But she stayed logged on.
So police say that the team's call ended 9:30.
Now, could it be that Ron picked up the phone, went back? Okay, he wondered what had happened. Okay, let's have a look at this scenario. This has just come to me. So Ron's walked past the phone, the situation. He's got to the red brick. He thinks, "What's going on here? I'm going to go back and have a look." So he phones his wife and says, "There's a phone here and there's a dog here. I don't know what to do. I've seen this dog before, and I know who the owners are, but I don't know the names. Do you know who they are? How to get in touch with them?" Could Ron have logged off the phone and that's when he saw the wallpaper? Because he says that he saw the wallpaper. So could Ron have seen the wallpaper? He phones his wife to ask what he should do. Because my dad would. He would phone my mum and say, "There's a situation here. I don't know what to do about it." So maybe it was Ron that logged off the call. Maybe Ron is the main witness with finding things, but I still find it really odd that he didn't see anything, knowing there's a 10-minute line of sight. I just want you to put that in there.
Mm. But Nicola's phone remained logged on to that Teams call. In other words, she hadn't ended the call.
Mm-hmm. So that happened 3.
So call ends, but phone remains logged on. Call ends, but phone remains logged on. What call ends? I didn't even know there was a call on the phone. I just thought it was a team viewing that was logged on. According to this, the call ends, but the phone remains logged on. Unless there's been a mistake here with Sky's labelling. Anybody know?
2 weeks ago, right now.
Yeah. Approximately, police say it was 9:33, 3 weeks ago, that the lady...
Let me just rewind that back for us, people. Let's just have a look at this again, please.
So that happened.
Phone remained... Yeah.
But she stayed logged on.
So police say that the team's call ended 9:30, but Nicola's phone remained logged on to that team's call.
Hang on a minute.
Team call, that
Moved to this bench, but we're at a very important juncture right now, okay?
So this is an important junction.
It's 9:30.
I did a 30-minute team call. That ended.
Yeah.
She'd logged on about 9:01. It had obviously started at 9 o'clock.
So we can say that she was in a Teams call from 9:01, and we know that it ended at 9:30. But according to Sky's labelling, call ends but phone remains logged on. I think there's a bit of a mistake there on their behalf.
Yeah.
But she stayed logged on.
So police say that the team's call ended 9:30, but Nicola's phone remained logged on.
Now this would have been scripted, so they are repeating what they've been told to say, which I find really odd because that doesn't make sense unless I'm not making sense of it.
To that team's call. In other words, she hadn't ended the call.
So that happened 3 weeks ago right now.
Yeah. Approximately, police say it was 9:33, 3 weeks ago, that the lady who owns a caravan park just around the corner here actually spotted Nicola's phone.
Okay, my focus is going off. Let me just rewind it.
Lady who... Yeah. Approximately, police say it was 9:33, 3 weeks ago, that the lady who owns a caravan park just around the corner here actually spotted Nicola's phone, spotted Willow, and spotted the harness.
Okay, so let me have a think about this. Ron's found the phone, seen it at 9:33. Are they saying that the caravan owner found it at 9:30?
Who owns a caravan...
Right now.
Yeah. Approximately, police say it was 9:33, 3 weeks ago, that the lady who owns a caravan park just around the corner here actually spotted Nicola's phone, spotted Willow, and...
Right. So what time did Ron walk past the phone? Trying to connect the dots and read between the lines. Was it Ron who saw the phone, phoned his wife came out to the situation, so she's saying she was the one who touched the phone, picked it up and picked the belongings up. Is that what's happening here? Let's just go back.
Ago right now.
Yeah. Approximately, police say it was 9:33, 3 weeks ago, that the lady who owns a caravan park just around the corner here actually spotted Nicola's phone, spotted Willow, and spotted the harness. She was another dog walker, so, you know, she noticed who Willow was, noticed who Willow belonged to.
So maybe Ron didn't know who it was, phoned up his wife, and she came out to investigate. And the police are using, which would be Penny, I would imagine, as the main witness, being that she's committed to touching the items, maybe. I don't know, I'm just reading between the lines here.
And then that's when things really kicked into
Okay.
action. And
So
other
that's-
locals got involved.
Yeah, so that's like the...
Other locals also got involved. Well, who are these other locals that got involved? Yeah, but getting back to the timeline that I've just showed you, let's just put everything to one side, that we just know that there was a witness at 9:15, whoever that will be, found Willow, the lead, or we don't know about the lead, found Willow, the harness, and the phone. Okay, we can all agree on that 9:15 it was found. Then the police say 1 hour later they found the phone, the harness.
That's correct. Yeah, about an hour later we found the dog and the mobile phone on the bench. That's correct. Yeah, about an hour later we found the dog and the mobile phone on the bench.
I played you the police saying that that's what's happened, that they found the phone at 10:15, an hour later. But Paul rang the police at 10 to 11.
So I'd rung the police at like, I think about 10 to 11.
He got down to the bench. There was dog walkers there. So where was the police? How come the police didn't say to Paul, we are aware that your partner is missing. Can you meet us at the bench? I think you should come to the bench. That's where we are. That's where everything's been found. And when he gets there, the police, he would say, the police handed me the phone. But he doesn't, does he? He says dog walkers handed him the phone.
So I got in the car, drove down there, ran down the river to where the bench is. Somebody had Willow, and obviously there was a few other dog walkers there and stuff like that. Handed me Willow, handed me Nicky's phone. Handed me Willow, handed me Nicky's phone.
Very much conflict of storyline there. So why? There's been a lot of things taken down as well. Let me just show you that too. How they're taking stuff down. Why are they silencing things? This is, it's an high-profile case, and if anyone's doing a documentary, surely they would want to find evidence. Or don't they want you to find evidence because there's holes in the story, and it's not going to look good if you start putting the holes together that don't make sense. That's the only other thing I can think of.
Just when you thought the case of Nicola Bulley couldn't possibly get even more bizarre, it actually does. Does anybody remember Blackpool Lane? This was the road in which Nicola Bulley would always start and end her walks. She would walk along Blackpool Lane, up the towpath into the fields, and then back the same way that she entered, back out onto Blackpool Lane. Yet the police constantly and consistently sought dashcam footage from the completely incorrect road. They were seeking dashcam footage from Garstang Road and sometimes Garstang Lane, which doesn't even exist. Yet they really needed dashcam footage on Blackpool Lane. Well, in the last 48 hours or so, Google Maps have changed the road name. Now, you can't make this up. You couldn't possibly make this up. It's now changed from Blackpool Lane to Garstang Road. What is also quite interesting is the fact that all historical data concerning this road also appears to have been altered. So it's not just at the current time that it's showing Garstang Road, but when you take a look back through the years, 2013, 2007, 2001, 2000, even back to 1980, it is now listed as Garstang Road. All traces of Blackpool Lane have seemingly been deleted. Luckily, I found a different website, OS Maps, which actually still lists it as Blackpool Lane. I mean, many people would take a look back at my previous videos and think to themselves, what is this lunatic talking about? There's no such thing as Blackpool Lane, it's Garstang Road. I mean, look at the map here, look on Google Maps, Garstang Road. What the hell is this bloke talking about? I can prove to you that this only changed in the last 48 hours. I mean, many people will say, why is it even important? Surely this is just irrelevant. Let me explain to you why this is so critical. And I've made this point during the time that Nicola Bulley was actually a missing person. On countless, numerous occasions, during press conferences and press appeals, the police were seeking dashcam footage from the wrong road the entirety of the investigation.
We also appeal for any remaining dashcam footage that may not yet have been submitted to the police in this inquiry, particularly if people have that relating to the Garstang Lane area of St Michael's. Particularly if people have that relating to the Garstang Lane area of St Michael's. As I said Friday, this only leaves the path along Garstang Lane onto the A586, which is not covered by CCTV, but the more of those 700 or so vehicle drivers that we can identify and who can confirm that they have neither dashcam footage or saw anything on that morning will help us to close that very small gap. As I said Friday, this only leaves the path along Garstang Lane onto the A586.
Unfortunately, the main entrance and exit to the fields is via the river path, as we refer to it. And that river path goes back to Garstang Road.
You can even see there through multiple press conferences, it was always referred to as Garstang Road or Garstang Lane. And I mean, my biggest issue was the fact that they didn't actually get any dashcam footage which saw Nicola Bulley on her walk. Now, this road is incredibly busy between 9 and 10 in the morning, yet there was no sign of Nicola. No sign whatsoever. But it makes sense actually when you take a look at where they were seeking that dashcam footage from. Not Blackpool Lane, but Garstang Road and Garstang Lane. Garstang Lane, as I said earlier, doesn't even exist. Yet now, conveniently, Google Maps have actually changed the road name, which now coincides with the police press conferences and press appeals. So no longer is Blackpool Lane, it seems to have completely and utterly vanished even from the historical timeline on Google Maps, and it's now known as Garstang Road, which, as I say, conveniently ties in with what was sought by the police during those press conferences. Now, I have absolutely no idea what the hell is going on here. All that I can say categorically is that that road name on Google Maps has changed from Blackpool Lane to Garstang Road in the last 48 hours. Now, why is that?
Right, okay, this is a little bit from the Nicola Bulley disappearance when the police gave an update press conference. Let's just have a listen to some of the things they say.
Throughout this investigation, as I've said, we remain fully open to any information that is credible and factual to try and trace Nicola and bring answers for her family. But it does remain our belief that Nicola sadly fell into the river and that this is a missing person inquiry.
So it's just the belief, there's no evidence.
And it is important to stress that any information that comes in that indicates otherwise is being checked out all the time and negated as each inquiry comes up. We're not closed in any way to any particular line of inquiry, and we remain genuinely open.
So basically, a plea to the public to keep getting in touch. If you think you know anything, let us know. Even though they feel that she's gone in the river. Very contradictory, isn't it, that, to be fair? Okay, they're leaving the lines of inquiry open, but which is it? She's fell in the river, or we want you to look as well? Why even mention that she's fell in the river? Why not just say, our thoughts are maybe that she's fell in the river, but we have no evidence. We're still thinking on other lines of inquiries. If you have any, then please get in touch. Why not be specific in your wording? But that's just maybe how the police work.
To that. All these extensive inquiries, however, have so far not found anything of note. Any indications of physical objects in the river, such as natural debris, trees and the like, have been already identified by the original divers and discounted. So,
find that a bit odd. Well, obviously, if it's trees and debris, then that's not going to be Nicola or a body, is it? Find that a bit odd. Why, they would have to mention that.
further sightings of that debris are only items that we already knew were on the riverbed or in the riverbank.
Or on the riverbank. So they're saying here that they've already done searches on the riverbank, and that's where Nicola was found, on the riverbank or in that debris, that bush, that tree. So they're saying that they've done that search, according to that's what I'm hearing here. I might be hearing different.
We would ask that people in the wider community, particularly on social media and online, do not speculate as to what may have happened to Nicola.
But you've just asked any line of inquiry that can be related to get in touch. She's just said we are open to anything. Let me just go back. Make sure I heard that right.
All throughout this investigation, as I've said, we remain fully open to any information that is credible and factual to try and trace Nicola and bring answers for her family. But it does remain our belief that Nicola sadly fell into the river and that this is a missing person inquiry.
So if it's a missing person inquiry and they believe that she's fell in the river, but the divers have searched, then surely they would have said something like, our conclusion is, from our search, that Nicola isn't in the river. They would have to dismiss that, wouldn't they? If they've searched and not found her, unfortunately, they would have to dismiss that. We have no evidence, so our line of inquiry is looking elsewhere.
And it is important to stress that any information that comes in...
So if any information comes in...
that indicates otherwise...
So if you've got, some kind of speculation, or you might think you know something or seen something,
is being checked out all the time and negated as each inquiry comes up.
So they don't mind you getting in touch with any kind of scenario that could lead them to Nicola. They're saying that's fine.
We're not closed in any way to any particular line of inquiry.
So they're not closed, they don't mind, they're open to anything. That's what I'm getting here.
And we remain genuinely open.
So they remain genuinely open to anything. Anything that can help. Am I right or wrong?
All these extensive inquiries, however, have so far not found anything of note. Any indications of physical objects in the river.
Okay, so I'm going to stop it there because it digresses there, doesn't it, on something else.
The police arrived at the scene and found Nicola's phone on a bench.
Somebody had Willow, and obviously there was a few other dog walkers there and stuff like that. Handed me Willow, handed me Nicky's phone. So the police rang me then while I was at the bench and said, look, you've got to get home because the police are going to be coming to your house. We need somebody at your house. You get home, the police are on the way there. So I'd rung the police at about 10 to 11, and they were there. They got there at 25 past, so they were there, really, really quick.
The locals and the local news and the local people all said the dog wasn't found till 10:15.
What a puzzle. To back up this decoy situation, you then add Nicola's dog to the mix by saying it was running around the bench and we tied it to the...
Another thing, Willow has got As you can see off this video here, I'm sure this would have been on the day in question when Nicola went missing. There's a dog tag there, and I believe it's got the owner's name and number on there.
This is the nearest I can get to the timeline, and I hope you can make notes. 8:26, Nicola leaves home and drives her daughters to school. 8:43, Nicola speaks with a parent friend at schoolyard. It seems to be Emma White, who waved. 8:48, a lady in yellow sees Nicola walking on the Blackpool Lane. 9:50, a lady in red is seen on CCTV allotment lane and says she doesn't know anything. 9:50, a different dog walker who knows Nicola sees her on the lower field and the dogs have a little play. 9:10, dog walker sees Nicola in the upper field. 9:15, witness sees Nicola and Willow on the towpath. But who's seen her? By 9:20, Nicola's phone makes its way to the bench. 9:20, a 17-year-old man sees Penny from the caravan site tie Willow to the bench, and he speaks with her. At the same time, 9:20, Penny seems to have called the police, the vet, Ron, the sister, the daughter-in-law. 9:20, they had words about the dog and lead, Penny and Nicola, or Penny and the 70-year-old man. 9:33, Ron, Penny, and Marie are all at the bench at varying times in that minute, all the same minute. They're all quoted. Ron's quoted at 9:33 at the bench. Anne Marie, the daughter-in-law, is quoted as tying the dog up at 9:33. But none of them see Nicola Bulley. None of them. None of them see it. 10:15, local news reports that Willow is found. 10:35, Paul is contacted by the school and told it's a weird one. We found Willow by a bench, 10:35. 10:40, Paul drives straight there and he arrives around 10:40 at the bench. Paul searches for 10 minutes. 10:50, Paul calls the police. 11:01, the police declare a missing person at 11:01.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is take us back to Nicola's mum and dad and sister being interviewed. Now remember, all interviews are scripted. What I'm going to show you first of all before I move on, I just want to show you something that shows you how scripted everything is, the mainstream media. All the news channels have their own scripts, obviously for the presenters to read. I think they're allowed to ad-lib a little bit of their own personality into it. But this is from the morning show. I don't know if you've seen this, but it's got Jennifer Anderson in. Anyway, I'll just let play, and it's self-explanatory anyway. But it just shows you how scripted the news and TV is.
And for our audience, Bradley's mom is checking in on us from West Virginia. Sandy Jackson, are you there?
Hi there. Hello, everybody.
Hello, Sandy.
Hi, Mom. I'm on the morning show. How about this?
I'm just so proud.
Well, as you should be. Bradley is pretty amazing. Now, what was it like watching her grow up?
Oh, it was just wonderful. She was always so smart and sassy and funny and just so much fun. It was a wonderful time for our family. Sassy and funny and just so much fun. It was a wonderful time for our family.
So there you go.
And Celine B helped out at the soup.
So there you go. That's the presenters reading from the telescript. I think most of us will agree that goes on anyway.
Oh, it was just wonderful. She was always so smart and...
So as you can see, you wouldn't know that she's reading anything that's being presented to her. She's looking in the camera.
Sassy and funny and just...
And there you go. You've got the... You got the camera set up and the producers there, and obviously she can see on her own TV in the living room a daughter there, and mum sat on the chair here, and they made a good backdrop, and there you have the script that she's been asked to read from, and in her hands as well. There'll be she's probably got the script there probably she was given that script pre-filming this, a few days before, for it to have a look over to say that this is the script that's going to be presented to you, that's going to be asked, and that's a response there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take us back to Nicola's mum and dad and sister being interviewed. Now remember, all interviews are scripted.
There's no evidence to point us in any direction.
So there's no evidence to point us in any direction. The police don't have any.
Obviously, my hope is that she's still out there. Something's happened and she's, I don't know, needed to take herself off for whatever reason, and we just want her home. We need her home. Her children need a home. Okay,
so her sister's saying that she could have just took herself off somewhere, and which I'm sure that went through our minds as well. It's just natural. It's a logical thing to think. Well, is she just she had enough and walked off and had a bit of time out? And also, what I'd like to know is, I don't know the turnaround time for a missing person to be inquired upon, but when Paul phoned the police, he said straight away they rang him back and said, look, you need to get home. Wouldn't there be a bit of a gap in between the missing person being reported and, just family and friends and everyone else just go and look for her? Isn't that what kind of happens, especially with the police being so busy? Why did they feel it necessarily to say, right, Paul, you need to get home right now? Just bear that in mind.
We appreciate everything that everyone's doing to find her.
So, we appreciate what everybody's doing to find her. In other words, that's bringing us, into the equation. Thank you, everybody.
The police have been brilliant. The local community has been outstanding.
Let's just listen to that bit again, because these are the points that I'm trying to make.
The community spirit has been unbelievable in a very small village. How much has that helped you, knowing that people have come from far and wide to help look for your daughter?
Massive. It's been massive. We've really appreciated it, and everyone that's been involved doing the sweep search of the fields, etc. It's just given us hope that someone might find something that could give us that little clue to what might have happened.
So it's given them comfort that somebody might find a little clue. Come on, people, get out there. We need a clue. But what about the police in all this? It seems to be they're pushing here. They want everybody else to look. You even seen the placards, the banners up, and I've looked at those videos, and I'll try and show you here. There's about 3 people with a picture of Nicola, and then they had that one done that was on the car, wasn't it? It was a life-size banner that was going up and down the west side of the country, up and down, I don't know, Fleetwood, Blackpool, around that area. So, they were getting people involved. She's missing. Where is she? Where is she? So, let's continue on.
Somebody must know. People don't just vanish into thin air. There's got to be somebody that knows something. And all we are asking, no matter how small or big, if there's anything that you can remember that just doesn't seem right, then please reach out to the police. Please just get in touch.
Please reach out to the police. Get in touch.
I was going to ask you that, Lou. What is it you want to say to people watching this, wherever they're sat, wherever they're watching from, on their phones, on the tellies? What do you want to say to people in order to help you?
Well, just if anybody knows anything, just let us know. Just, Nikki, if you're bloody out there, just let us know that you're okay. We can sort anything out.
Again, she has a little bit of a laugh there, doesn't she? If there's anything, let's just have a rewind.
Nikki, if you're bloody out there. Just let us know that you're okay.
Yeah, so she's having a bit of a laugh there, isn't she? It could be a nervous giggle. I really don't know. I just found it very odd.
Can sort anything out. We just want you home. We just want you home.
Yeah, my approach to this is that for the public to search their minds or anything that they might have seen.
So here again, it's this is a message for the public, and this is a plea for the public now, and
for the public to search their minds or anything that they might have seen. Doesn't matter how significant it is. If it's something that they think might not be interesting, it could be, and inform the police that that they've seen something. But the main thing is that we want to find Nicola, get her back home, and
We just need something. We're nearly a week on tomorrow, and we're just going around in circles. It's like something's got to have been missed. There's got to be, somebody must know something.
So yeah, somebody must know something.
Somebody must know. People don't just vanish into thin air. There's got to be somebody that knows something, and all we are asking, no matter how small or big, if there's anything that you can remember that just doesn't seem right, then please reach out to the police. Please just get in touch and get my sister back.
But they know Mum is missing. But they know that she's going to be coming home.
So they know she's going to be coming home. Well, they don't know, do they? That's a really odd statement to say, that they know that she, yeah, maybe they're just trying to be positive, staying positive, and that, they're telling the girls that the mummy's going to be coming home. But would you sort of say that to your children, knowing that maybe she's not going to come home? Would you give them that false hope, just in case she doesn't come home?
And this is everyone's looking for her, so it's only a matter of time that they're thinking in their minds that she's going to walk through that door.
What happened on Friday morning was
It
started off as what seemed to be Nikki's, daily routine, really, dropping the kids off at school, taking Willow for a walk. It all seemed quite normal.
Yeah, it all seemed quite normal, didn't it? Apart from the bit when Paul said there was a few things that weren't normal, which, okay, could not be normal.
How do you feel about the fact that this has happened and it isn't Nikki, in a way, if you get what I mean? It's not her, it's not normal Nikki.
No, it's not normal Nikki. It's not normal Nikki for it to disappear, is it? That's really, I suppose, what he's getting at. But we didn't know here that she was vulnerable at all, and so yeah, that's when they put a different spin on it, wasn't it? When they released that information, and again, I think that was a decoy. I think it was part of the timeline of events that they've staged to happen to make the story unfold and start to shut down near the end.
No.
What's happened? How does that make you feel?
We just haven't got any answers, have
No,
we? We just don't know.
She's done this 1,000 times. Drops the children off from school. Her beloved dog Willow. She loves it to bits, that dog.
My question is to you guys. Let's say it is a psyop. Have they got their parents in on the story, and are they scripted and they know what's going on? Or could it be that they've left the parents out of the script to make it look real?
The police only have said that, they're keeping her.
And what I found really strange is he rubs his right leg like Paul does as well. I found that, it could just be coincidence. I don't know. These are things that I noticed. So you have to bear with me. So yeah, let's carry on.
An open mind about what's happened here. Is that easy to do? Is it difficult to keep an open mind? When there's speculation and everything. How tough is that?
Yeah, well, we're trying to be quite honest with you. We're trying not to get too involved in what people are saying because nobody knows anything, do they? So
no, nobody knows anything, and certainly the police have got their theory behind it. I do think that there's conflict of interest here already because they're asking the public for any information. They're asking anything the public may have seen, may not have seen, anything, just let them know, let the police know. So the police will have their theory, and they would have been told that the police's theory, but they seem to have a conflict about it because they're asking us to help, aren't they? So if you look at the whole story, there's been Emma. She hasn't trusted what the police have said because she's promoting everyone to get involved and look. You've got Paul that's thanking everybody for looking and searching, and the police are just in the background and they're telling you the outcome of the story. This is the story that they made. This is what they've manufactured.
and that's what we really want to say today is don't get blindsided that this has definitely happened, or we need to keep an open mind.
Yeah, so don't listen to the police, don't trust what the police have said. Okay, next part. I just want to go over some bits from BHTV YouTube channel. It's Brian Harvey, and I'm not sure if you guys, some of you will obviously know Brian Harvey. He was part of the boy band called E17. Did some, really good tracks in the 80s. Now, he started a YouTube channel and he talks about some controversial cases. I'm not going to go into what he talks about. If you want to go over and check him out, I will leave the links to all the channels that I use down below. Any problems with my content, Brian, just give me a yell, mate. If there's nothing you like, please just give me a shout, yeah, and I will edit it out. But he's got some very interesting points that I feel also is connected to this case, building up a profile of who's involved in the case. I mean, you've got Paul. He's an engineer. He's an aerospace engineer, whichever department that is, it's not really specific saying which department, but it could be in high-tech military aerospace, so he could have some high-class clearance, which means he'd be rubbing shoulders with some very high-profile people and government, and those words fall into place. So anyway, let me go to his channel and let him explain some bits he's found.
What was I going to bring up with Nicola Bulley? Right, we've got. I know what it was. That was it. The children's charity.
Oh yeah.
So let's bring that up a second, Nicola. Right, here we go. So.
Yeah, we touched on this last night a bit.
Yeah, the Children's Society. Now, who was it that said that this was the Royals' top charity?
And also the destination was the Royals as well. Someone sent you a message on Instagram.
So basically, the Children's Society. I don't know much about this society, but let's see what he's got to say about it.
Right, so let me just cut this short a second. The Children's Society. Now, what has she got to do with that? Nicola Bulley search is not a spectator sport, parish children's names public. Why is she wearing that? Girls travel from miles to take selfies on bench where missing Nicola Bulley phone was found as police warned vigilantes to stop breaking into abandoned homes in bid to find her. Well, the point on the video, what the guy's going to make, what you're going to play, is this guy is saying this should be a crime scene and it should be sealed off.
Yeah, look, if you look, people taking selfies there.
People taking selfies there.
Why would you do that?
There's going to be no forensic examination of any of that shit. So what is going on here? We've got her pushing the Children's Society, the freight companies. Now, I don't want to put two and two together, but as soon as I see that and then I see Children's Society right? And then we look into the companies, and I'm seeing names that are popping up again and again.
I do think that if this has been orchestrated and there would be characters played by these actors, it would have been something that they would have practiced. I think the scripting and everything would have been practiced, and I think they wanted Paul to look the way he did. When people are saying there's something about Paul, I think it's the timeline that he's explaining. When you go back and listen to the timeline, I tried to chop this up last night for this video. I tried to edit it at the beginning, and it's very, very odd the way that the interview is taking place. I've got to be careful here what I say, basically, because I want it to come across. So if I'm thinking, I'm pausing. If I'm pausing, I'm thinking. That's the right way to say it. But yeah, what I'm trying to say is I think that people are picking up on his acting, the way he's coming over, the way he's been, his personality, his mannerisms. And I think that's the style they wanted it to be, that way, so that we, the YouTubers and everyone else, would pick up on it, just like a character. In a drama, you have characters, don't you? And they act a certain way, and that's their character. And I think Paul's character is just his character. And I think they wanted it to be this way for us to pick up and for him to play the part. And he's played it perfectly. I really do. And I think the people who wrote this have put him in front of these body language experts, and they've asked them to analyse him doing this part, and they've helped him to steer him to be this way. So that, and another thing I thought about too, take this on board maybe. When Paul is saying that she's not in the river and these body language experts are watching him, he's not really lying, is he? Because if he knows that she's safe somewhere because she's played the part and she's being the character, he's not lying by saying she's not in the river. And also when he says, I think someone local has something to do with it, which he does, I will find these bits, he's not lying there either, is he? So he's not lying anywhere. He's not telling porkies on any of his interviews. So they won't be able to pick up on any lies. It's all true. Everything that Paul has said in his interview is true. So let's just carry on with this.
This time.
And someone sent a thing saying that the date she disappeared was a sacrifice date.
So the date that she disappeared is a sacrificing date. Okay, if you're into all that, if you're into Illuminatis, and if you're very demonic, they really are. Numbers are significant. I've said this before through the video. You've got the 23, you've got the 933 phone being found. Okay, you got the children 69. Put that aside. It's children. But if you look at the and I mean, on the bench, 23 on the bench. We're on the 23rd. It's 2023 year. 23 days she was found between going missing and being found. There's a lot of coincidence numbers, numerology numbers. If you're into it, if you're not, go look at it. It's a fantastic subject.
Yes, and we checked that out, and it is, isn't it? You've got that. You've got the chart.
Yeah, someone sent me a chart
on your phone. There's a
Instagram,
chart.
yeah.
I mean, we can bring it up if we need to, but there is a chart of satanic sacrificial dates, and apparently that's one of them. It wouldn't surprise me if look, the Children's Society and freight companies, shipping services. Right, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not going to go into that. I'm not going to let this play because it touches base on a bit of, the Children's Society, children going missing. You've got a freight company, exporting child exploitation. That's all I'm saying. Okay. So for anybody who's deep into this, the if you've heard about the Masons, they use certain images, sort of checkerboard, and Nicola Bulley has got a picture with a checkerboard floor there. All or nothing, maybe. Very old stylish side unit there, and on there is a book. I'd like to know what that book is. All or nothing. And then there's these pizza boxes here. Let me just see if he actually shows you the pizza box. Bear with me 1 second. Let's have a go forward a bit. Yeah, so the pizza boxes, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, so it just goes on about, it's a mystery before the coronation, which it is really. And then we've got June, which is the inquest date where a lot of it's going to be revealed. I just think it's going to be an open shut case, that the police were right all along. And before that time, it's going to be swamped by social media, by YouTubers, and I think there will be a law brought into place in regards to this case. Right, this is something interesting that he says. I only came across this last night as well. So there's stuff here I'm playing, and you're finding out as I'm finding out. Have a listen to what he's saying.
I think they're doing this to create the suspicion. I think I'm right. This needs to play out for a couple of months.
Yeah, so he feels that they're creating the suspicion. Again, my theory, creating a mystery, and something new comes out every day, which it did.
This could be PR. I don't know. Either that, or the papers have been hacking them, and the papers know that there's something going on underneath, and the papers are steering this their own way with the police, and there's something deeper going on. Because that's where I'll be looking. Straight away, I'll go to company's house and see, fuck me, shipping companies and all that. Like, if there's nothing in it, there's nothing in it. Sorry to accuse people and all that, but you've got to look in these places.
Now, I don't know if you have seen this, but I've just come across this. This looks like a personal message from Paul. So let's just have a listen to this. I've not seen this before.
Right, so let's...
10 days now since Nicola went missing. I have 2 little girls who miss their mummy desperately, and we need her back. It's been such a tough time for the girls especially, but also for me, all of Nicky's family and friends, as well as the wider community. I want to thank them.
He's just popped himself in there with the family and friends. You should be right up the front. We know, obviously, about the little girls, but first I'm saying, you know what I mean? I would just,
Oh, that's not going to sell GoFundMe, is it?
No.
We're also really grateful to Peter and his team from SGI for coming up and helping support the work of Lancashire Police as they continue their investigation. Their support is amazing. If anyone has any information which could help find Nicky, I urge them please to get in touch with the police, help us provide the answers that we all so badly need. We have to find her safe and well. I can't put those girls to bed again tonight with no answers. Thank you.
Now, I've just heard that again. It sounds very distant from it to me. It could just be Paul if you go to the narrative of it being real, but again, it sounds too artificial, not natural sounding to me. It's not a natural plea for help. When you're reading when you've told your kids a story and you read them a book, So that's just my thoughts on that little clip. Let's continue. Just watch the reaction of these two now, Nicky and Harvey. I think this could be the first time they've watched this. Yeah, just look at the reaction, and you've seen I've already done a little bit of a breakdown of this interview, but let's just have a look at the reaction on a certain point. I won't say which point it is, but watch.
We're asking, no matter how small or big, if there's anything that you can remember that just doesn't seem right, then please reach out to the police. Please just get in touch and get my sister back.
I was going to ask you that, Lou. What is it you want to say?
He did look over at Nicky then to say, that was unusual. And he's looking on his phone, he's listening, he's not watching. Just play that back again.
Get my sister back.
I was going to ask you that, Lou.
There.
What is it you want to say to people watching?
He looked quite surprised there, didn't he, at that laugh?
I was going to ask.
Please just get in touch and get my sister back.
I was going to ask you that, Lou. What is it you want to say to people watching this, wherever they're sat, wherever they're watching from, on their phones, on the tellies? What would you want to say to people in order to help you?
Well, just if anybody knows anything, just let us know. Just, Nicky, if you're bloody out there, just let us know that you're okay. We can sort anything out. We just want you home. We just want you home.
Yeah, my approach to this is that...
I think he's rewinding it back, isn't he?
Sort anything out.
Bloody out there, just let us know that you're okay. We could...
There's another laugh. There's nothing to laugh about.
No, there isn't. I agree. Do you agree, people?
Nicky, if you're bloody out there, just let us know that you're okay.
I'm so glad I've got this little bit of a clip from them.
In order to help you.
Well, just if anybody knows anything, just let us know. Just, Nicky, if you're bloody out there.
Very interesting, isn't it, watching other people's reactions to things?
Let us know.
I find it
that
very
you're okay.
interesting.
We can sort anything out. We can
Sort anything out. Would there be something to sort out, perhaps, in the family? Because if the story is real, then obviously I feel for them. But I just can't help feeling that something's wrong. Yeah.
And if you look, the mum...
The mum's just...
is distraught, but she's constantly watching what she's saying. I don't know. It could be just... I don't know. It's because we're looking at it a different way.
Yeah, this is the thing, isn't it? Us analysts, so to speak, us critical thinkers, our minds are so open to everything. We're susceptible to... That's the right word. But we are very susceptible to things, and I love watching other people. So I thought I'd bring this into the mix on the video because I think it's good for you guys to see somebody else. If you've seen it, I'm sorry it's being played. And Harry and Nicky, your channel's fantastic. I love it. You have great characters. You do a great job. I'll just continue playing this.
I just don't trust the world no more, Nick. Yeah, I don't trust what I see anymore. I just don't trust people with what they say about things. I look for the signs and I think inside I have to be real myself. I think they're all lying. It's my opinion.
That's an interesting point. He thinks they're all lying. So I always think you've got a gut feeling. I tend to go on my gut feeling. I'm an empath. I am an empath. So I'm empathic, so I feel, and I'm very sensitive to other people's energies, if you know about empaths. So, and I think people who are awake and are critical are empaths. I think it's a quality.
I think there's more to it, and everyone seems to be, I don't know, everyone seems to be, there's a standard way of talking to someone when you're being interviewed. But people have personality. When you're PR trained, that personality doesn't shine through, and no one's personality has shone through where I'm like, these people are real. I'm just looking at it like it's all lies, and this gets loads of publicity, and so many others don't. I just don't understand why this one's more important than all of the other 200 or 250,000 kids that went missing, like I said, from a year ago till now. And
yeah, someone said that to me as well. Why is this such a high-profile case? You know, it gained momentum, didn't it? And he knows his PR, and he's been into it a long time. You know, he's had managers and what with his band and everything. He's been through it. He has definitely. So he would understand it, you know, more than me.
And the year prior.
Where is the dog's ball?
Where is the dog's ball?
Let's move on.
That they give any information that they possibly can to help get your sister, to help get your daughter back home. How crucial is it right now?
Well,
It's the only thing we're holding on to.
we're holding on for this as not our last hope, but this is going to reach out to millions of people.
There you go. It's going to reach out to millions of people, which is obvious anyway, because it's national, isn't it? You know, it's and it's gone international. So you know, that's just stating the obvious. But you know, if you can read between the lines, that's what I'm trying to say.
And we're just hoping that from this interview that something may come of it, which will spark a light, and it will lead to us finding our daughter. Yeah,
so, you know, it's she's still missing. They're not believing the police's story, and they're reaching out for the public to still get involved and to help. That's how this seems to be to me, and that's how I think it comes across. Okay, there's something else that I've just noticed as well. It's funny when you're doing these videos, you start to notice things. But I don't know where the interviews were taking place. But if you look at the curtains here, it must have been in the same house, because they are very, very similar. Even the wood around the window frame and the brick as well. So whose house was this filmed in? Or was this in a studio? You know, it's very odd that as well, isn't it? Because I thought that this was in Paul's house. And I also thought it was in the family's house. When I first saw these, I thought you know, I thought that was in their home. And then I've just noticed where Paul's at as well is also it's got the same
Bad wrong, 9-9.
Just bear with me 1 second. Let me just pull this back. I don't know what's happened here. There we go. So let me just play this.
Around the corners, looking over the hedge, looking over the stile, and you know.
Yeah, so there we go. That is definitely the same curtains. Whether they shop at the same place, I don't know. But even the colour shading, that shading looks the same as that shading to me. In fact, I think that is exactly the same room. I think that would be the fireplace there where Paul's sitting. I think it's just a different angle. But I think where they're sitting, that's where Paul's sitting. And I think that curtain and that curtain are the same. So they've been interviewed in the same room. And I thought that, you know, I did think that some of the lighting was very off as well. There's a few things that I noticed in this week as well, after looking at Paul and the family one, this one. Now, I didn't know that this room here was also the room that Paul got interviewed in as well. But also, I was watching another channel. In fact, let me just find that for you first. Okay, now, I've been watching this cool dude for a while now. Well, for the last week, maybe a little bit longer. And I've left some comments in his comments. And he really does make some good content, and he's got some really good ideas, and I like his style. It's different. Now, I was watching it last night, and he starts to break down the CCTV of Paul and Nicola getting into the car, which again is very controversial, and I would really like to touch base on that, although I know it's been scrutinised a lot this last week or so. So, as I was saying earlier, the room, this room here, I thought when I watched, because obviously it was a family that got interviewed first. You know, that they we'll go through this, but this room is the same as the one which Paul was interviewed on. So they've been interviewed in the same room. You know, they're the same curtains here, without a doubt. Both rooms side by side, and you'll see. So they've been interviewed in the same room. Super Chuffer, as he's called, he actually plays. There's on YouTube is an advert for the farm what Emma owns. I keep getting them two mixed up. I do apologise. So that Emma owns.
I'm going to take this one, edit, transform,
so
reset the transform. I'm just going to make the
I'll just fast forward
wedding, and there's then got the gig of doing the Marsh Farm Hall video. EY.
That's it, the Marsh Farm Hall. So both interviews, the families and Paul's, are both filmed in the same room, in the same house. So bearing that in mind, okay, the family have got no quarrels about being in Emma's house whatsoever. They must feel very comfortable to be in Emma's house. But let's just maybe not say that at the moment, because we have no proof of that, do we? It could be a scenario of Sky have said, look, we're going to do the interviews, and can you come to Emma's house? I find that odd, firstly, because wouldn't you? I thought that this was filmed in their homes. I thought the family was filmed in their home, and it was them filmed in Paul's home. I thought they were two different houses, but they're not. It's filmed in Emma's farm. What I find odd as well is these chairs are from a table, and I will show you that as well. It was not so much odd, but they've used these chairs for interviewing the family, and then they've used the sofa to make Paul look nice and comfy, and in a different setting for his interview, which I really find very odd, because I would have thought that these would have been on the sofa. Or didn't they really want to, make it clear and plain that they were in the same room, because then it would look like the same room. They have tried to, but there's plenty of rooms inside this house that they could have filmed, to make it look different, but they are in the same room. And I'll show you, because the chimney breast and these curtains and this window, the way that the windows are laid out is in the same room. So yeah, super chuffer. He goes into Emma's.
Open this image in a new tab. Very small picture. Very difficult for anyone to see.
He goes on about
the
guy who did the video for Emma for the promotion, and I find it really odd as well. Not odd. I find it. I'll just put this out and see what you think. I found it strange that the people who are involved in this case, this story, they've all got something to gain financially from this story. You've got the caravan park, and also Emma's got a hotel on there. It'd be like a bed and breakfast type of place you can go and stay. And I know Super Chuffer has also mentioned about the rooms you can rent. But there is something else I found really, really strange about this video. I'm using Super Chuffer because I hope he doesn't mind. I do like him as a character. Now, I don't think Super Chuffer kind of thought anything about this. He's not into his psyops, or I respect him for it. So I find it odd that they're doing a thing to do with the royals. Now, I'm thinking that they're going to use this case to bring a new law in to shut down all the armchair detectives and really shut everything down, the TikTokers and social media, not to talk about cases or not to investigate cases. I think that's what they're using this for. Whether there has been a genuine incident happened and Nicola Bulley is not alive, rest in peace if that is the case, then, they are going to make an example of this. But I think it's been designed that way. I think they've hyped it up. I think they made it into a mystery. They've captured the attention, captivated of everyone's hearts in the UK and around the world. And it's been hyped up by all the press. They knew what would happen, and the whole thing's been orchestrated from beginning to end. And when I saw this last night, I was like, no way. If you're into things like the elite and the Illuminati and the royals, and you'll understand that this is very significant. Just like the numbers that are being used throughout this story. 9:33, the phone was found. 23 on the bench. 23 days, a body was found. Call it coincidental. Yeah, coincidental once, twice, but 3 times. And there's more. Look at this. Do you know what? I'm going to find this and play it. But thanks for bringing it to me attention, Super Chuffer. I've just seen there's no dog. So I'm going to watch this and I'm going to break it down a little bit for myself, for a little bit of fun in for you guys. Yeah, so just getting back to the E. White channel. That's got to be Eddie White. I would say so anyway. Eddie White is Emma's husband, and they both apparently own Marsh Farm Hall. And as I've showed you from the video, it looks a really nice place. And my point is, she's married, she's got children, she looks in a really happy place to me. Now, I know there's a lot of speculation about the fact that she's looking suspicious. There's rumours going about that she wanted the lifestyle of Nicola, and there's motive there to do harm to Nicola. And yeah, you know the story anyway. So what I want to show you is this, though. Now this looks like it's been done for the children, really. Okay, but let's get past these adverts. Everyone wants your money today, don't they? Everybody does. I won't play the music too much. A little bit, I'll turn it down a little bit. But this is obviously the corgi dog. Now we know the Queen has always had a passion for corgis, so there's nothing really too suspicious there, is there really? And I know some of it's been photoshopped, it's been edited that way. But it's just the fact that, let me just play you the video, okay, let you watch. Okay, I'll put it on full screen for you. And this jumped out at me as well. All or nothing, probably. Just me with my suspicious mind. Okay, so they've obviously gone from London to Preston. Now, that must be the return journey. I would imagine it is. And look at the date, June. Now, it's funny because I think that is when the Jubilee was last year. So they must have returned home on the 7th of June 2022. And oddly enough, June this year is when the inquest into Nicola all comes out. Let's let the video play. Now, this bit is a little bit strange as well. So the corgi goes into the phone box and rings for a taxi. Now, I think if I was producing this, I would have had a mobile phone involved with this, but they use a payphone. Nothing odd there, but let me play the video and then I'll get to the point. We're in a black cab here now, so do they have black cabs in Preston? If anyone knows, please tell me. I'm not sure if they do. They might do. I know we used to have them here, but we don't anymore. And then this is what I found odd. Okay, so the corgi's in the taxi, gives you the idea of him phoning the taxi to get back home. But we're in a car here now. We're in the front driver's seat. So whoever's filmed this is in the front driver's seat. I even tried to pause the video to have a look what lanes it was going down. I said to my friend, wouldn't it be funny if they went past the river where the body was found. And then it stops here at Garstings St Michael's. It's saying how far away he's got to go. Not too sure what the equipment in the tractor is here. I don't know. See, because I start thinking, critically thinking, and I think, oh, could this be engineering? Ukraine, Britain. St Michael's Road. I think we've heard that a lot in the case. Hall Lane, I think we've heard that in the case. I think. And then obviously we're at the school here. The school that's where Nicola went missing, kind of. And it goes to my friend, wouldn't it be funny if there's a bench in this video? Okay, it's not the bench, but yeah, he's on his own as well, isn't he, the corgi? It's I don't know. It could all be nothing. For all you people with suspicious minds and who critical think and know how to connect dots, this video does with me anyway. And there you have the corgi on a bench. So we're obviously at the school here, and no dogs. I just find this video is really bizarre. I really do think it is. I think it could be more so that we've got this case. If we didn't have the Nicola Bulley case, then this video wouldn't you know, and then we got the church here. If we didn't have a case of Nicola Bulley, then I wouldn't even think anything about this. You know, and it's funny there. I don't. What I said to my friend, wouldn't it be odd if Nicola Bulley's phone was an iPhone? But we don't know. Maybe that's to come out yet. So I can't wait. A little bit of text on here. I can't wait to join you. I just need a name. So obviously he's you know, he's in school, and he just needs a name. I have no name. I hear you can help. I don't know. It's just so odd, so random that video is. You know, especially with it having, you know, there's a bench there. Okay, it's not the bench, and you know the lanes that are mentioned is you know, we've got Garstan, St Michael's mentioned. All these names are big in the case. St Michael's Road, Hall Lane, the school, St Michael's School. Yeah, I just find it, you know, very bizarre that a video was produced last year, and on the end of it, you've got this, you know, profile picture of somebody, and it says, "I have no name. I hear you can help." Or it's showing a human there, isn't it? It isn't showing a dog. It isn't showing the corgi. So what is that? You know, who can help? I hear you can help. Well, we have been helping, haven't we? They've been asking us to help for the, you know, for the first 3 weeks of the case. I'm not saying that this is anything to do with the case. I'm just saying it's something I've come across. It feels a bit strange, a bit odd. And I wanted just to put that out there. So, yeah, I just wanted to say that this video was uploaded 10 months ago. Watch corgi make the long journey from London to Preston. The only problem is the corgi, no name. Can you help? The corgi wants a name. So I just wanted to put that out there. Could be all or nothing. You guys let me know. I'm going to play this now because I want to see for myself, and I want you guys to watch it in real time with me.
Welcome to Marsh Farm Hall. My name's Emma. We're going to take a little tour of the venue today. Welcome.
Yeah, it looks a very nice venue, doesn't it? You know, a very great place to get married. You know, there's some money here, definitely, without a doubt. Yeah. what I ask myself is this. If you're going to, do something wrong and, maybe if there was an accident or you accidentally kill somebody and you've got to be really clever, haven't you? I know people are saying, that Emma seems to be very suspicious, and some people are saying Paul, and some people are saying both of them have done it. Well, are they going to really risk losing all this? Risk losing this lifestyle? Some people are saying that, Emma's jealous of Paul's lifestyle, and she wants to have Nicola's place in his life. She's got children of her own as well, and she seems quite happy. She's got it's a well-made life, isn't it? It looks that way to me. I can't say for sure. I don't know. I'm not down that road of anyone murdering anybody, to be fair. I really not. That room there, if we just go back, this is the room here where Paul and the family were interviewed. Without a doubt, there's the curtains. It was a different view of it, but that's definitely the sofa that Paul was sitting on. And it was also, these are the chairs here that Nicola's mum and dad were sat on. So just bear that in mind. This room, everyone that's been involved has sat in this room and been interviewed. Would you sit in a room if you got any suspicion about anybody murdering anybody? Let's just say there has been foul play and you've got suspicion to it. Would you be able to sit in this room and do an interview for the major news channels, not knowing where your daughter is? Why not sit in your own room, living room, Paul and mum and dad? Unless, you're all in it together and, you're quite happy to sit here and it's all scripted anyway and, Okay, next part. I want to just focus on Curtis Media now a little bit. Great channel. I've been loving his content. In fact, he was one of the first to arrive on the scene. He walked through the part where the body was being pulled out the river. And I just found that a little bit odd that he was there at that moment in time. Another coincidence. Could be, probably. So, I did get a little bit curious about Curtis. I thought he was making some really good content, especially when he's walking up and down the river and he was showing you those, there were drainage, there were little drainage system. One of them went right past Emma's farm. Okay, let's get back to the Curtis and the Penny situation. So Curtis pulls up outside Penny's property. Again, he's right close to the property. He has an habit of this, doesn't he? He seems quite confident to get close to people's property like this. There's no other YouTuber who's gone out of the way and knocking on doors and so close and he's So if he has been arrested, then I suppose the police have got every right to at some point. But it's the arrest I don't actually believe in. I don't believe he was arrested in the way that he was. Okay, let's just play this.
Well, it's open.
So this is the caravan park, and obviously Penny's inside the house. He does say he's not on. He says, all new arrivals, and this is classic signage and classic protocol for campsites. So let's see if he abided by that rule. Really nice house again, isn't it? I mean, you can hear something there, as if there's TV on or something. Let me just rewind it back and just make sure the volume's up. Yeah, there's definitely someone in the house anyway, you can hear. Or there's someone in the caravans.
I give it 30 seconds before we're kicked off.
So there you go. He thinks it's going to be 30 seconds by the time he gets kicked off. So he knows that she's in here. I I think I can hear her.
20 seconds. Just long enough to talk to this person.
And you can see a person. No, I can't see a person there. Can you? Looks like, unless he's in the car maybe. But he's quite confident there's a person there. Let's just go a little bit closer. Let's just see if comes into shot. No, I can't see a person. Just rewind it back.
I give it 30 seconds before we're kicked off. 20 seconds.
Can you see a person?
Just long enough to talk to this person.
So this person. So I still can't see a person. I've even looked through the the car there through the windows and trying to look around there. I still can't see a person. But he knows there's a person here somewhere, doesn't he? Because watch. He doesn't show us the person, he just shows us the land. There's a person down here. No, there's no person there.
Yeah.
Is there a person here? Can you see anybody? According to Curtis, there was a person quite as he was coming around the corner before he got here.
Throwing water.
So I wonder, has he found this person to meet at the caravan park? Has he found him? Or has the person at the caravan park found Curtis? Because I can't see this person.
It's over there. Hello.
Oh. Hang on.
Hi, right. Yeah. Were you here when...
Oh, there he is. No. How did he know he was there? Okay. I think basically what's happened is Curtis has already been on here. He's found this gentleman. He's asked the gentleman if he wouldn't mind being on camera to do a little interview. Again, staged, set up situation. I can't prove it, but I can point out what I've seen about the person and there wasn't a person. I mean, if you want me to rewind it again, I can do that. I'll just play it from here.
I give it 30 seconds before we're kicked off. 20 seconds.
So he's counting down.
Just long enough to talk to this person.
Just long enough to talk to this person. Now 20 seconds is like from here to the car anyway, isn't it? And how does Curtis know he's going to talk to him anyway? He's quite convinced, wasn't he?
Throwing water. It's over there. Hello. Hi.
Hello.
All right. We
Okay, and I'm just not going to play any of this, but I just want to show you how this was set up. I think it was.
Were you here when all the commotion happened, or are you new?
I came a couple of days, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So no questions of who you are, what you're doing. He was quite confident to talk to Curtis, so I just think that was set up. Okay, so I just think it was, and there's a few other things I think is a bit suspicious as well, like what I've just showed you about the Emma's sister rocking up in the car and all that malarkey. So let's fast forward this. I don't really want to hear about him selling his caravan and what he did or didn't see when Nicola Bulley went missing and the caravan park didn't get searched, and then, okay, I found this really interesting. Look who turns up after, where are we? 15 minutes into this footage, right? Now, knowing that he'd already knocked on the door, I'm sure Penny would have CCTV cameras on this property. I know one of them's down, funnily enough, but we won't get into that. So let's just see how Penny and himself deals with seeing each other.
No, sure.
Now, I don't know if he's trying to hide the camera here or if he's trying to turn it on.
We just wanted to have a walk around. Go on, you go.
Okay, let's have a listen.
Sorry, we came in. Yeah, let me come and talk to you. Go on, you go.
So she's shouting, "Who are you?"
Sorry, we came in. Yeah, let me come and talk to you.
You were onto the vehicle. Let me just see if I can put captions on. Okay, sometimes these can help.
Sorry, we came in.
Sorry, we came in.
Yeah, let me come and talk to you.
Now, Penny's not being picked up on captions. As far as I could hear, she's saying you're onto a vehicle or something. So who are you? You TikTokers, are you? So straight away, TikTokers. Oh, them TikTokers are everywhere, aren't they? They're like minions. TikToker minions. Bad naming them TikTokers. So, you know, it's working.
No, we don't do TikTok. No, we actually, technically we do journalism.
Technically we do journalism. So he feels himself as a journalist, a reporting journalist. So let's have a look at Penny. I think she looks quite normal. I think she's running a caravan park. She's probably got some chickens somewhere, as we know on the reviews. She's probably got a dog as well, because, you know, why wouldn't you with that land, you know? And let's try and build a bit of a picture on her profile.
Technically.
This is the bit where she realises who he is.
No, we don't do TikTok. No, we actually, technically we do journalism. Technically.
You're the barber job on.
Now, this is what got me. Who is the barber job? If anybody knows, can you please let me know? Because my friend said, she said, who is the barber job? How did she know he was the barber job? So let's listen to how it goes forward.
I'm the barber, yes.
I'm the barber. Well, we know his name's Curtis Media, so it's not related to a channel, unless he's got another channel. So anyway, that's pretty irrelevant.
Just thought you were.
Did you read the media, did you?
Yeah, go on, off you go.
So she's read the media about him, so she knows who he is. He seems to be known everywhere, doesn't he?
Off you go.
I mean, the smile that she's giving, and, you know, she's a bit of a cheeky lady, isn't she? You know, she's, yeah, all these speculations about Penny and this and that, and
we actually came on just to look around how big it is. That's what it was.
What do you think you're doing?
What do you think you're doing? Come on now, lads, let's hurry off. You know, I don't think in her eyes there's really been a crime committed here, or she doesn't seem too bothered, does she? They've been on her land 15 minutes that I've showed you.
Because it was open, we walked in.
It's
and
not open.
this gentleman here said a lovely lady owns it.
Right.
If she's here, she'll talk to you.
Off you go.
Come on, off you go now. Come on. Yeah, she's
Off you go. Go on, both of you.
She doesn't seem to be a very confrontation with you, does she? Really? You know, I'm sure that these would be having a telling off if they weren't meant to be there. I've been on some campsites, and this guy he'd have you escorted off on his land if you didn't own a caravan or you weren't on there and you meant to be. But she seems quite relaxed, doesn't she?
So you got no words to say, no?
No, nothing to say about anything. No.
So nothing to say about anything. So Curtis is trying to ask her some questions about being a witness. Obviously, that's his main goal here.
No, I suppose he had.
No, he just said.
I suppose he had, the caravan owner. I suppose he had some things to say. Well, yeah, he said that he didn't get searched. Rah rah rah. Would Penny find that if the caravan owner has said that the place hasn't been searched for 2 weeks after Nicola Bulley going missing, would she feel threatened by that caravan owner talking to these two? Would she feel threatened?
No, we don't do TikTok. No, we actually, technically we do journalism. Technically.
You're the barber job, aren't you?
I'm the barber, yes.
Yes, thought you were.
Did you read the media, did you?
Yeah, go on, off you go. Off you go.
We actually came on just to look around how big it is. That's what it was.
Private. What do you think you're doing?
We're all private.
Because it was open, we walked in.
It's
and
not open.
this gentleman here said a lovely lady owns it.
Right.
If she's here, she'll
Go
talk to
on,
you.
Off you go.
It's just the way she's smiling and chuckling to herself. And it's funny because a lot of the characters in this story, I'm going to call it characters in this story, in this investigation. Well, it's us doing the investigation, isn't it? The police have already done it. They've already interviewed all the witnesses. She's wearing sunglasses this time of year. Also, Lou was wearing sunglasses. Nicola Bulley's sister was wearing sunglasses in the house. So, is it a thing in this village? You know, I don't know. My friend says, yeah, you get a lot wearing sunglasses. Could she have problems with her eyes, and that's why she's wearing sunglasses as well? But I really don't think that, that she's got anything to do with any foul play anyway.
Off you go. Go on, both of you.
So you got no words to say, no?
No, nothing to say about anything. No, I suppose he had.
No, he just said he's selling his caravan.
Come on, off you go.
We are going, don't worry. We're going, don't worry. Look, you see how it's open? That's why we walked in, and we thought you'd come out initially, but we didn't see you. So yeah, anyway. You do realise what the media write is not always accurate, right?
Everyone lies.
I found that to be so interesting. Listen to this.
You see how it's open? That's why we walked in, and we thought you'd come out initially, but we didn't see you.
Well, that's funny because he did think that she was in there, didn't he? He said she'll be out in a minute. I'll give it 20 seconds, 30 seconds or something. So he was waiting for Penny to come out. So he's lying there because he thought that she was in there. Whether he was thinking someone else was in there and it'd be someone else who came out, I do not know. But the fact that Penny says here that the media lies, everybody lies, he's quite pacific about it too.
So, yeah, anyway. You do realise what the media write is not always accurate, right?
So you do realise what the media write is not always accurate. How does he know that? I mean, we know that can be the case. And it's depending on the case, and it's depending on the article. Not everything's lies. He's spinning that. He's making sure we hear that, and Penny's also making sure that we know it's lies. Listen.
Right.
Everyone lies.
Exactly.
Everybody lies, exactly. So who's lying then? I wonder. She knows everybody's lying. Everybody's lying, she says. Would that be Ron? Would that be Anne-Marie? Would that be himself, Curtis? Would that be the police? Would that be Paul and Emma? And would it be everybody involved in this case are lying? She knows something. I really do believe that she knows something. She's saying everybody lies. She's making a point. But anyway, the police come, and the police are always not far from Curtis. They have been over the last couple of filming. But her son comes out now. Now, I'm quite good with editing shots, and I know that this next shot, I am absolutely sure, has been set up. And I mean, waiting for Curtis to say the camera's rolling so her son can get his phone and go on shot. So if there was a director, it'd be 3, 2, 1, take. So let me show you.
I think she needs to be careful calling the police. They might start digging around. Who are you?
Okay, right, what's this? Should wind it back. I've got to get this right.
So guys, Penny has called the police.
I'll turn this down a bit, it's a bit annoying.
I think she needs to be careful calling the police. They might start digging around.
Yeah, so he starts being sarcastic here about digging around after Penny because she's in the frame, isn't she? With all the YouTubers, everyone's you know, it's all looking as if Penny's guilty and she's sus and all that. And I think it's part of the script. Whether these people were just there by coincidental, walking past and getting involved in this by leaving the phone and them knowing, the police knowing someone will walk and pick it up, and they are the people caught up in this, and they're just innocent bystanders. It's either that or they're actually part of the narrative, part of the script, part of the crisis acting. Because, I mean, you know, depict certain people to do these crisis acting scenes, and, you know, people who are quite close-chested that would take it to the grave, and, you know, if they was to release any information, because they would have to sign a secret act, and it would be less benefit for them if they leaked it. They would damage, you know, they would have something on them anyway to not say that they would bring them to arrest, but they would make sure that the secret they would take to the grave anyway. That's what I'm trying to get at. Anyway, getting back to this shot, how it's all pre-planned. This is the way I see it anyway.
Who are you?
Okay, so he's asking, "Who are you?" to this kid here. Call him a kid. He's like a young adult, isn't he? Really? But watch. Straight away on his phone, there was a delay there. Did you see? Watch.
Careful calling the police. They might start digging around.
So he swings up here.
Who are you?
Who are you? Now, to me, it looks like he's waiting for the 3, 2, 1 take, and then it's time to go on his phone. Could not. It could just be me. I don't know. But watch. 3, 2, 1. Did you see? Or was it just coincidental?
Who are you?
Just waiting for the camera come into play. 3, 2, 1, shot, and off he goes. Okay, I just thought to show you some of the footage from when Curtis has the interaction with the police on the day that led to him being arrested. So let's just watch that now.
Didn't harass nobody, mate. Can do, yeah. Go on, you go first.
My first point is this, right? Just, I understand what you're doing.
Yeah.
I've seen your YouTube channel.
Have you?
Yeah, I have seen your YouTube channel, and I get the purpose of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shall I tell you what happened today?
Just listen to me for a minute, right? When
Go
it
on.
comes to the local residents,
Yep.
okay, you could be more respectful of what you're doing, okay? So, for example,
Yep.
going on to the caravan site,
Yep.
I understand that this is public access and that you could walk on there.
Wouldn't have to leave. Yeah, I get it.
But, yeah, and she's asked you to leave.
Yeah,
That
we've left.
It isn't respectful, is it? Like,
But
it's
we
not a
haven't.
respectful thing.
We
to
haven't
do
just
to-
walked on. There's been a guy in the corner, right? So we've walked to here.
Yeah, the guy in the corner owns that caravan and he's selling it.
But I don't know that.
Yeah,
right,
I know, but
I'm
it's
here.
Not, but it's not a normal behaviour.
No, but
to walk on-
The thing is here, right? Curtis is having a little bit of a confrontation with the police officer. I'm not going to comment too much on this because it's a very grey area and everybody's got their own different opinions to this. But what I'm trying to sort of show you is what the police actually said about him being arrested. That's the bit I'm interested in.
Accusing
I'm actually trying to put it
I understand
right.
that, right, but there's other people who aren't, and by keeping it going, you just.
If anything, I'm trying to stop speculation. That's different. I didn't plan to go on there today. Okay. That just spur of the moment.
Now, I have to disagree with that comment, Curtis. I think you did plan to go on there today, and I also, from what I've showed you that that all looked planned as well. We were, I counted sort of. You must have been a good minute away from actually seeing even longer. So I believe that you did plan to go on there. I've got no proof, and I did think you planned to speak to the what's it. Now, why you couldn't have asked the chap selling the caravan to come off the property and to talk away from the caravan? It's your style of filming, buddy, and I respect it, and you do some fantastic content. A lot will agree on that. You've certainly dialed depth into the case, but I just think sometimes using a little bit of common sense now, whether it's done because, obviously people are interested in that type of footage and it makes your footage more interesting, and why not? If it's good for your channel and it's good for your subscribers, it's juicy, then why not do it like that, buddy? You know what I mean? So, either way, whatever, I'm not criticising at all. I'm not here to criticise any channel or anybody. All I'm here is to just put me thinking aloud. I'm not here to criticise anybody in this at all, not even the police. I'm just trying to put what I can see. So let's just have a listen to this a bit more.
Happened today. I've been filming down by the river again. You've seen the videos. Yeah. That's to try and stop speculation, to show people, look, you're saying this has happened. It can't have happened because X, Y, Z, right? Yeah. Here there's a camera, or there's a camera. That can't have happened. So I'm trying to put it to bed as well.
That, right. Just what I would say is, I know you're going to bring up that lad's actions as something that's just happened.
Well, no, he's angry, isn't he? He's angry.
But hear me out. Him being angry is reflected in other people being angry.
So when I showed you that footage earlier and I said, it did look set up, like I say, you knew the guy was going to be up there, the caravan owner. The guy who was shouting at him, the way that he came into shot looked like it was prepped, am I ready to film yet? Go on the phone. That's how it looked to me. I could be completely wrong.
I know you're going to bring up that lad's actions as something that's just happened.
Well, no, he's angry, isn't he? He's angry.
But hear me out. Him being angry is reflected in other people being angry.
So if it was set up and they wanted to use that situation, then it's a great. It's been. What I'm trying to say, it was a good example of this police officer. What he's saying right now, isn't it? The chap being angry, other residents being angry. It's worked because he got arrested, basically. But I do think, I know people are going to say, this crisis acting and too many people in the loop that know. But, it's only a matter of keeping your mouth shut, isn't it? That's all you've got to do. And if you do leak it out, who's going to believe it anyway? Even myself here trying to show you things that I can see in it being set up, and it's all a plan and, set up to bring a new law into place. It's hard for me to, it's hard for you to believe me. Never mind if someone leaked that information. Who's going to believe him? It's like saying, oh, I saw the earth, it was flat. So if you can see me points, that's all I'm asking, for you to listen to me points, not to believe me.
The community. Yeah. And it's going to get to a point where if there's enough people who are reacting like that to you being here, I could lock you up for
what?
For breach of the peace.
So as far as he was concerned, the only thing he could arrest him on was breach of the peace.
Genuinely.
But I'm not breaching the peace, am I?
No, but it'd be to prevent harm to you.
So wouldn't the arrest be, I'm going to have to arrest you, Curtis, for your safety? I'm worried for your safety, so I'm going to have to arrest you and escort you out of a situation.
So if people are acting like that towards you in the area and being so aggressive and swearing at you, and it's solely because you're here.
That's not normal behaviour either.
I know, but because you're antagonising people by getting in their faces.
But I haven't.
Yeah, but you obviously have, because he was antagonised. That's what I'm...
Yeah, so I'd like to know your thoughts on this. I'm not commenting on it too much, to be fair.
I'm saying
we came to that gate. Our plan was to walk out, and he come over and said, "Oh, you're that."
And then, you know, there's a lot of cutting out, isn't there, as well? I showed you before about when Emma's sister drove up to him and he cut it, and then, you know, they had a private conversation.
Videoed it purely for evidence.
That's because you've been on his nan's land, okay, and you've gone to speak to someone and you've shook his nan up because his nan...
The police officer has got a point, you know. Okay, it is so-called public land, but at the same time, it's public land to the caravan site owners. You know, you could actually look at it like that, to be fair. You know, it's not a public footpath, it's someone's property. I don't know the legal side of it, but, you know, it could be, if you don't own a caravan on that land, then, you know, or you're not invited on that land, then I don't think it is public land. It is while he's staying there. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm just thinking aloud. But anyway, I think that's enough of the police officer's interaction. I just wanted to show you that to see why Curtis got arrested, and it was for this. But then I saw last night that Curtis actually got arrested for filming the body being pulled out of the river. Let me just show you that post. Okay, so this is Curtis, man 34, arrested for filming inside police cordon on day Nicola Bulley, body found in the river. Okay, let's move on to this part now. So we've been talking about Curtis Media, and he's been around filming and people know him and seems to have a VIP pass, doesn't he, for everything. Now, this is his arrest statement. Now, I'm going to play as much as I can of this because I don't want to bore you, but at the same time, I want you to hear the way the police arrested him. One thing I was really shocked, he never mentioned that he had a warrant. Bear that in mind through all of this.
This video is to explain what happened 2 days ago. I'm sure a lot of you have heard or read in the news. One thing I'd like to say at the beginning of the video so that people understand is I cannot talk about her case. I cannot talk about that area or the family. I have bail conditions that I cannot do that. I cannot make videos on the case, and I cannot publicly talk about it. So even though I'm talking about my case and my arrest over a video, I've got to be very careful that I don't sort of talk about that case, okay? So, at 1 a.m. 2 days ago, I was at my nan's house, my grandparents' house. Bearing in mind they're 83, 84, 85 years old. I think they're, 85 and 83. Elderly, vulnerable people. They were booting the door at 1:30 in the morning. They were banging the side windows of the house. They were shouting the letterbox. They had the car spotlight on the roof on the whole house, like they do in America when they're arresting somebody with firearms. Okay. My nan and granddad were literally scared for their life. They thought that somebody had came to the house, attacking the house. That's genuinely what they thought. They said to me to ring the police. Anyway, so I go outside finally, and I'm arrested. Young officer, young female. Now I still have marks on my hands now from the handcuffs. That's how tight they put them on. It was freezing cold. It was like -1, -2 degrees, and I only had bottoms on and a small t-shirt. I'd just been, pulled out of bed. So I brought my coat with me. I managed to grab my coat before.
So yeah, stop it there. I'll just quickly input now and again. So he's been arrested. He's been told he can't really wear many clothes. He's got to get out of the house how he's dressed. Not even read any rights of warrant or anything, showed any warrant, he says. It sounds very much like brutality at his grandma and grandfather's house, doesn't it? Now, surely the police would have arrested him on that day. You know, the day that I just showed you, where the police come out and because the police said to him, you know, if you carry on filming, we're going to have to arrest you for your protection. And that's basically what they said. Police. I just want to point out things that I'm finding very odd. I'm finding this arrest odd. I wasn't so much finding the police chatting to him odd, because he seems to be having a good relationship with the police regardless anyway.
And they've read out the arresting details, every detail of the arrest. So we're talking about not just the offence name, which is normal, but they stood me in my middle of my driveway in front of my whole street and very loudly read out every detail to the arrest, why, what I'd done, what they thought about it, which is definitely not normal. Okay. Then they put me in the back of a riot van.
Yeah, they would ask you to, if you got any stuff that you want to bring with you, just bring it with you. If they thought it was part of the crime, obviously they would search it first, but they wouldn't take his human rights away, because basically that's what they've done here. They've took his basic human rights away. They also don't allow him on his bail condition to go back to his grandparents' house. He's not allowed near the house to get any clothes or to go in the house. He's not even allowed to go to a place of residency that he got planned. He got a rental place or somewhere to live, and they've told him he can't go there either. So basically they're making him homeless. Would the police really do that over this case that doesn't even warrant an arrest? Leave comments below.
And they kept the light on in the riot van. They locked the cage door, but they left the main doors open so the whole street could see me in the van handcuffed. They still kept the handcuffs on in the van, even though there's no need to do that. They've never done that in my life before, back in the day when I've been arrested and stuff.
So yeah, so he's definitely been in trouble before anyway.
I was arrested for pervert the course of justice and malicious communications. Pervert the course of justice. What I did, the video, we all know what video we're talking about, right? The video.
Now, he doesn't specifically say which video, does he? He just assumes we know. Well, it could be a number of videos. It could be it could be all his videos off his channel, which would make it more realistic if they said it's all your content, because all his content is quite abrasive in some areas. But, it's just his style.
Pervert the course of justice. So, because we didn't know the cause of that, that may have perverted the course of justice.
So, he's just said there, hasn't he? He didn't know he was perverting the course of justice. He had no reason to think he was. And I don't think anybody else does who's doing these content channels. There is no law out there that says, look, you can't do this because you're going to be perverting the course of justice. So this is where I'm thinking they are going to bring something into play using this.
Okay. Malicious communications is posting said video online with the intent of causing harassment, alarm and distress. And of course, I think everybody will agree with me that that's not why that was done. It was simply for a media channel, which I've explained. So, my solicitor doesn't think that that crime fits it at all. I won't say much more than that, but she doesn't think that, that's the case, basically. In my opinion.
Wouldn't the police know that, knowing how much scrutination they're having and how everyone's looking at the police? And, surely, like I've said before, people are going to get in trouble. People could lose the jobs, and would the police really risk that, I don't know. And knowing the law, they would have to get permission to go and sort of arrest Curtis in this way, wouldn't they? And then, I'm sure a solicitor would have a field day with this, but I don't know.
So I've been bailed. Before I go on to that, I've been bailed until June. Now, ironically, June is a certain month, isn't it? We all know what June is, right?
Yeah, so he's been bailed till June, and we all know what's happening in June. That's when the coroner's report comes out, and we find out exactly what's happened. And I think that's why they're leaving it so long. I think that's all been part of the script for it as well, because I think it's going to continue and continue and continue. I think this is really important, the way that they've put this into his bail conditions about his rights.
I won't say no more. I've been bailed until then, and conditions are basically not to post, share, or talk about the case or the area. In other words, I can't make videos on it, be it my own footage or be it, photos or talking about the case. I'm not to enter Lancashire as a county at all. And I also have to report to the police station once a week between 10 and 12 o'clock, which again is inconvenient, to be fair. Especially that I'm not going to be living in that town much longer. All right. So I thought I'd let everybody know. It's only fair to let people know. You all are supportive of me. Most of you are. So now I was temporarily staying at my nan's address until I move into a full-term rental property, probably next week or the week after. The new condition is that basically I can't go to that address. So they've made me homeless tonight. I have nowhere to stay tonight. My money is at the house. I'm not allowed to the house to get my cash. I'm not allowed to the house to pick up any stuff tonight, any toiletries for the evening. And they've let me know at 8 p.m. in the pouring snow here, and I've got nowhere to go tonight.
So basically, they made him homeless. So that feels to me as if they took his human rights away. I don't know if that's the right rhetoric to say, the right thing to say, but I've always known, when I'm not saying, I know a lot of people that have been arrested, but people that have been arrested, they want you to at least go back to some kind of home and, be safe, and they want you to have money. I really don't know. I don't understand that. It doesn't sit right with me. So if the police have done that, I find that very a bit over the top. Okay, this was a news channel that I got really interested in. I didn't even know it existed. A lot of Sky presenters have moved over to this channel, Talk TV. It's very good actually, and I don't know if it's a channel that's on Sky or if it's on one of the free channels on Freeview. I don't know, or if it's just a web-based channel. I need to look into that. If anyone knows, please let me know. But let's have a listen to Jeremy Kyle. He's on this, and he's very good. And just listen to how often this was looped on this channel, and I'm sure it would have been on Sky too.
Turn, as we have done every hour at the top this morning on Breakfast, to that.
So every hour, on the top of the hour, they're reporting the Nicola Bulley case.
Terrible story about Nicola Bulley, the mother who disappeared over 3 weeks ago now on the 27th of January. Much criticism aimed at Lancashire Police over the last 48 hours. This search, this whole case started with them saying they believed that Nicola had fallen into the river. From there, much work was done. Wednesday came the bombshell that, in fact, there was vulnerabilities about her, a hurried press conference saying problems with alcohol due to perimenopause. The family have been bombarded. The area was never cordoned off. Lancashire Police have reported themselves to the police watchdog. The Home Secretary Suella Braverman getting involved yesterday and saying this.
Yeah, that was something I found really odd for the politicians getting involved. Even the Prime Minister had a few words to say about it at the very top, didn't he? We'll try and find that footage as well, because that rings red flag to me. For him getting involved, for the government to get involved, it's coming from the very top, isn't it? So, yeah, let's have a listen to Jeremy, and he's talking to Petey Fowling.
This is just not acceptable. The family have now hit out appalling speculation and said that they have had the most difficult time. One of the most interesting people over this entire sad event has been Petey Fowling, a forensic search and rescue expert.
Yeah, Petey Fowling, I do apologise. I always get his second name wrong.
Went up there and did the dive and said her body is not in the river. His reaction to the news that they knew, the police, that she had vulnerabilities. We've played it all morning. I thought it a good idea to get him on. Peter, welcome to Talk Breakfast. How are you, my friend?
Good morning, Jeremy. Thanks for having me back.
No, thank you. Let's just nail this. You said to me last night, if you had known as an expert that Nicola Bulley had significant issues that meant that the police labelled her high risk, if they had told you that, your search, your teams would have adopted a different strategy. Can you expand on that a bit, Pete?
Yes, I will, Jerry. We were tasked with, we went up there to search, and we were tasked by Lancashire Police, by the police search advisor, and we were taken to the scene where the bench was, the phone, and I looked down in the bank and I thought, well, it's only 2 feet deep here. She's not going, it was only a foot last week. If she fell in here, she's not going to drown. And I was just baffled by it. And
Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop it there a second. I'm going to play you some footage of this guy swimming in the river. And he's done this video, and I don't know if he's done it now or if he did it last summer or at some point. He's swimming, and he's swimming in the river. So let's just watch that because it's very interesting. Okay, this is Mark Aston, and he's saying that Nicola Bulley didn't go into the water, and he's an experienced wild swimmer, apparently. And I don't know if he did this at summertime or if he's done this recently, but there is music behind it, so I've had to mute it for him, in case it gets copyrighted, etc., etc. So I'm going to play this, and let's just have a look of his take on it. Okay, so that's a red brick building, and obviously that's part of the river that they say that's sandy and very shallow. And you can just tell it's so shallow there anyway, can't we? I don't think we have to be shown, but he's doing, he's doing a good job here. He's getting into the water here, and he's going to film. Now I believe he's standing up here. Let's see if there's any sound. 1 second.
Go into water.
Yeah, there is. He actually starts to talk at some point. Let me rewind it and find out where. Okay.
An experienced wild swimmer, Mark Aston, says why he thinks Nicola Bulley didn't go into water. Mark Aston swam the River Wyre close to where Ms. Bulley vanished and can be seen standing waist-deep in the shallow water, which he says he believes she did not enter.
Okay, so he's standing up here, and he's obviously filming. He's standing up, and it's waist height. So,
Mark Aston, a photographer and swimmer, said the stretch of the River Wyre around St. Michael's on Wyre is a nice place to swim. Mr. Aston, who posted a video on YouTube of his swim on the waterway, said the river was calm but in places was trickier to get out on the banks. Mr. Aston goes into the water by a sandy bay on the river just upstream from where the River Brock flows into it. The sandy area looks remarkably similar to a beach shown in photographs of Ms. Bulley with her dog Willow. The current appears very still in the footage. At the end of the video, the shallowness of the river is demonstrated as Mr. Aston is able to stand up with the water only reaching his waist.
well, I'd say it's a bit deeper than his waist, so I'm not sure about that. But I just thought I'd play that anyway because I found it very interesting, so we could all get an idea of the depth of the river. On one of Curtis' videos, he does interview a guy, and this guy says it's like about 20 foot deep. So I don't know. Could be parts where it's really deep. I don't know. I've got no proof on that, so that's just me speculating and talking about that. Okay, I think this bit's interesting, so I'll let this play.
Of course, there will be people who will say, stop talking about it. But the point of the matter is, and I have to say Nicola Thorpe did it so brilliantly on my show last night, because she said the real issue here, and her parents live in the area, her mother was part of the search. She said the community wants to help, but they have been led, excuse the pun, down a garden path by just ridiculous pieces of information coming out willy-nilly from...
Here we go. So, you know, she's been... The community now feel that they've been led down a garden path. They've been asked to help, and now they're just being told, you know, all the information's incorrect. So, basically, they used the community, didn't they? They needed a backdrop. They needed a backdrop. So they used the community with the banners on the road. You know, to start the interest, and that's how I see it, that the community has been used as a backdrop for the story.
From the police, the community's frustrated, the media's frustrated, the family must be going through hell, and several people who have been asked, like you, to task their skills also. Just very quickly, what happens next? We want for the family an answer. Where, I mean, overnight, Mr. Lawson, the Deputy Chief Constable, said that resources will have to be scaled back very soon. I mean,
to be honest with you, I didn't think there was a lot of resources put into this anyway. I was looking at videos and there was a dinghy on the river, not slating the police in any shape or form, because as far as they're concerned, they were doing the best they could. And there is... a big money issue, isn't there, in all of this as well? So they can use that. Or we didn't have the resources, we didn't have the money, unfortunately, just like in everything that's going on in the world today. There's not enough money here and there, and I think Peter says that.
I mean, that's another heart-shattering blow to Paul and his daughters, isn't it?
Yeah, unfortunately, Jeremy, in the world we live in, the police haven't got the resources, and it's a lot of things being cut. I mean, look, there's no underwater search teams down. We cover the whole of the southeast. The Met are there. The next nearest underwater search unit is Nottingham.
So anyway, I'm moving on from this, but I found that very interesting, that bit that he said about him not being told that Nicola's there. Just one more time, I'm going to play this bit. I overheard it before, and I think we should hear it again, because I find it very odd.
Yeah, this has come down from the top level, Jeremy. Someone has said, do not hand this information to the... Look,
someone has said, don't hand this information over.
There's a lot of egos here. Egos on every job. And I've spoken about this for a long time. We turn up at a job. They know that I find people in my team. We get the job done. We average 10 drownings every year, a number of suicides, especially in the Thames Valley and Surrey police area. We get called in and find them. And that's clear. I get called in to look for bodies buried in gardens.
Yeah, so this is the bit that I just want to play again because I find it very odd. I need to listen to it again for myself.
There's lots of egos playing here, and it will come out in the IPCC inquiry. Whoever instructed the police not to tell us that she was there.
She was there.
Nicola was where she, about inquiry. Whoever instructed the police not to tell us that she was there. Nicola was where she, about this out.
Yeah, I don't know. Leave your comments below.
We would ask that people in the wider community, particularly on social media and online, do not speculate as to what may have happened to Nicola.
Okay, so people in the wider community, so the people in the village, are obviously putting their own speculations together, phoning them up and say, could you have a better information? Could it be rumours? Or what? But they've just said that they're open to any line of inquiry that could lead them to Nicola. So what do they want? You phone up with line of inquiries and they're open to anything, or do they want you not to speculate and get in touch? Very contradictory, that. Red flags for me. It's one or the other, and that's how this case is being to me. It very seems that way to me.
This is particularly hurtful to her family, to her children, to her partner Paul.
Well, if it's only coming to the police, then why would the police want to mention it to Paul and the family? Why? How would it be hurting Paul? You know, obviously in the public eye, it's a high profile case. It's national, international. You're going to have people coming up with different scenarios. It's obvious. People have opinions. Do you know that would have happened?
Her parents, her sister, and her friends.
Wasn't it funny? Because, excuse me, the family, Paul and friends, were not believing you. They were not believing your hypothesis. We have Emma saying you can't put a life on a hypothesis. So how come this conflict of interest with everything to do with this case? Blame, contradiction, and then all of a sudden the family, Paul, is happy with the police's verdict. Would you be happy with the outcome with no evidence?
Because it's not helpful to them, it's distressing, and it's distracting for the police inquiry.
Well, you wouldn't even look on social media, would you, or on YouTube? Why would you want to go and look for things that's going to upset you? I'd be sat at home and I'd be like, you know, the family liaison officer would be advising me not to look on social media. Why would you want to go and look on social media at all the speculations? You'd be more interested in what the police have to say, wouldn't you? I would have thought. But then they're coming out and saying they don't believe the police.
Nor is it helpful if people, particularly if they come from outside of the area, take it upon themselves to take the law into their own hands.
So when's the law being taken into their own hands? I'd like to know this, and I might do a little bit of research on that. I'm not on this video, but if anyone's got anything, please let me know. Please leave links below to anything that proves this. And it's that's not stays. It looks genuinely like where people are taking the law into their own hands. Okay, I'd like to see this.
By trying to, for example, break into empty property. They may mean well, they may want to help, but they can help in thinking back, if they were in the area, to what information they may have of relevance to the police.
She's been very careful what she says and what she's looking at, you know. It's very scripted, isn't it? She's been very careful what she says. I know she is, because I know when I'm speaking, I'm pausing and having to think about what I'm saying.
And holding the family in their thoughts. But we will not tolerate online abuse of anyone, including innocent witnesses, of members of the family and friends, of local businesses, or of criminal damage or burglary.
So they're basically sticking up for, you know, sticking up for the family there. They're quite convinced, aren't they, that there's been no foul play from the family, and, you know, they're convinced that there's absolutely no reason to consider Paul. That's what they're saying. So they're happy with Paul's story. They're happy with Emma. They're sticking up for him. So anyone who thinks anything different, you should basically not say anything, because it's going down completely the wrong road. So they are sticking up for Paul and Emma, for those who are thinking that they had something to do with it. And they're also sticking up for the witnesses if you think that they have anything to do with it. So you're not allowed to speculate or think about it. You're not allowed to talk about your thoughts on that. But if you do have any lines of inquiry that could help, maybe they should give examples so that everybody knows what kind of information they're looking for. A little bit more specific. Anyway, I'm going to leave it right here now, and I think I'm going to leave it as part one to this video. I've talked a little bit about the timeline. I've showed you a little bit of a profile about Emma, how I don't think that she would want to, give her lifestyle up to actually have an affair with Paul. And I'm sure the parents would pick something up on that as well, if they are as close. I mean, the family say that they were close to Nicola. If that is the case, I'm sure Nicola would have given some indication with that, and I'm sure if the family are so close, they would pick up on that, I would imagine. The police aren't too, they're okay with Paul and Emma. They haven't got any suspicions, have they, there? And for them all to sit in the same room and do an interview, they almost feel comfortable around the situation. So take that as you will, and thanks for watching. I am the Underground Citizen, and any content that I've used to the other channels, please let me know if you're not liking what I've used, and I will edit it out. For all those channels that seem to be having a go at each other or being a little bit of a clash between you all, please try not to. I know it's hard, and I know we're living in a world of blame, and there's a lot of anger about at the moment. And if us YouTubers start falling out with each other, then basically we're giving them what they want. I feel that is what they want. I think they want us to fall out. I think they want a new law to be brought in. So you're playing right into their hands. Please don't. Let's work together. If you are taking footage from another YouTube channel, please just, give them a mention. Ask them if it's okay to use. And just be respectful to each other, please, because if we start falling out, then what chance have we got as working as a team? Let's work as a team and see if we can pull this together ourselves. Anyway, on that note, look after yourselves, and please leave comments below, and hopefully I'll do a part 2 soon. Thank you for watching.